Host. Welcome to the Sunday service, everyone. Once again, my name is Goga. I'm the host of the Sunday service. Every Sunday, I normally get a content creator on YT Streets just to be able to have a conversation with this particular creator so that you can learn something from this particular creator. So the guest today is none other than Coach Sharon. Coach Sharon is a speaker. She's a trainer. She's a business strategist, and she's a coach. Miss Sharon Addison, RN, she's been a registered nurse for over 2 decades, like a long time. I think that's as old as some of us. She's a best-selling author and an award-winning, guys, are you notice the introduction? An award-winning radio personality. She's also an international speaker, board-certified coach, and empowerment life strategist. Hey, guys, are you hearing the introduction? Miss Addison encourages her clients to trust and embrace their passion so that they can discover their purpose, gain more flexibility, and profit from their passion. We are talking about from passion to profit. I hope you saw the title of the live stream. Her global vision is to get 2 million women and some brave men to take their dreams from vision to implementation. She's an avid traveler. She has traveled as far as South Africa. Wow, she's been to the continent, Central America, and the Caribbean on goodwill and medical missions. That is the profile of the guest who is going to grace your Sunday service. Have you shared the live stream out? Yes. Today we are like having royalty on the panel. So without further ado, allow me to bring her up on the panel so that we can start at least having a conversation with Miss Sharon. And then those of you who don't know this beautiful lady who is gracing our screens today, at least can also just familiarize with her. So there she is. Sharon, welcome. Nice to see you.
Hey, Goga, thank you so much for having me. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
You are loud and clear. Let me ask the chat because they would know. Me, I can hear you, but maybe they may not be hearing you. Guys, can you hear Miss Sharon loud and clear? Can I get a thumbs up? Can I get that thumbs up? Confirm for me the sound is okay. John, yes. Confirm that you can hear her loud and clear, and click on the pinned link. Let it take you to her live stream, and you can confirm that there are 20 of you are looking at me. Right? You love receipts too much. 20 of you are looking at me right here. Can you go and confirm that it's clear on her chat? Go and watch the live stream from there. Thank you so much. Okay, I can see the confirmations coming in.
Listen, Goga, usually I'm drinking tea, but you're always having coffee. So I said, let me have a little decaf today because in honor of you, you're always having coffees.
You're giving me ideas to go get coffee, but I had some coffee before I got onto the stream. So I'm very hyper at the moment. Wow. I had some shake because Sunday is like Goga's day out and, had lunch and everything. So by the time I think I was getting home, I had so much sugar in me. So that's why I'm so excited.
Like me when the caffeine takes over. But once again, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to grace your channel and of course your followers. I was just blown away when you said, hey, come and be part of the Sunday service. I'm really honored, and I want to say thank you. My channel is small because I'm more of a radio kind of audio person. So for me with YouTube, I'm like, okay, so when I'm there, I'm there. If not, and then I just start meeting really amazing people. And I'm like, you know what? I could get used to this. So that's how I ended up on YouTube. I've had a few other YouTube channels and I pretty much use it for my students. So some of the videos that you don't get to see, they actually get to see that. So so that's how I've been using and getting used to these YouTube streets, as they call it. But so as the introduction that you were so gracious to share with your audience, more than anything, I always say I've been a registered nurse, been that for 3 years. And I've done radio. When I tell people I've been a registered nurse, maybe 25 years or more.
Wow. That's long.
Longer than that. And they're like, how is that possible? And because today we're going to be talking about our purpose and our passion. I believe that it's really important that we truly, I get really emotional when I think about it, but we create a balance in our lives for the things that we say that we want and the things that we want to do. Some people say, I'm in a job, but I don't like it, or this is my career, and there are other things that I like to do. For me, it's always about creating a balance or a rhythm for your life. And so radio was always something that I did on the weekends, raise my family, and I worked as a nurse during the week. And so that's how I was able to do that. And usually
Amazing.
they're saying, when you, and I'm going to let you ask the questions, but they're saying when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. For me,
Mm.
the both of them has been super amazing. So that's how I ended up here doing what I do.
I
So here,
like that because there's somebody on the chat. My girl lifestyle is watching us from Sweden, and she's also been a nurse. And I know she left South Africa some years back, and she's been there for like I think around almost over the same time, like over 25 years thereabout. And she's also been in the same space. So she's saying, "Oh wow, that's my colleague Goga. That's my colleague Goga." So she's getting excited. She's getting excited there on the chat because of that introduction. And radio, I'm trying to figure out radio and nursing and how do they even meet, like. And funny story, when I was growing up, when I was young, one of my biggest mentors on generally I think in the country was a radio host. I loved that woman because anytime she came on radio, and she was on radio for like over 11 years before she retired. And I used to listen to her. Everybody knew that between 8 and 10, Goga has to let Goga listen to like the lady. And because I just loved how she was engaging people and things like that. And I used to say that when I grow up, I want to be a talk show radio host. And then life, of course, happens. You go to school, and you realize that there are other things to do. Eventually she retired. But anytime I come to my YouTube channel and I remember, I'm like, wait, I do have a show. It's not a radio show, but I do have a show.
yes,
I
you
mean,
do.
here we go. Here we go. So
And your voice is being heard across the globe. So look at
absolutely.
that. Yeah.
So,
So there you go.
so it
You're
worked.
living your dream.
It worked after all. So I'm always like, it was just a different trajectory, but here we are. So
Absolutely.
talk to us about like 25 years in nursing. Like, where did it all start? Is this something that you always wanted to do, or I don't know? How did you
Interesting.
get yourself into that space?
What is so interesting? You're going to make me have to sip my coffee on this. Now I need the tea because I'm going to be nursing for me was a second career.
Oh,
Be like, how old is she?
I don't know. We're like,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, nursing for me, I guess I always wanted to go into nursing, but I also loved travel. And I always thought, I'm going to be a flight attendant. I'm going to travel all over the world, and you'll see how this all came together. And then I did. I started out in the airline industry back in the. What did
Man, how many things have you done in life?
Oh my god! Oh my gosh! I worked in the airline industry for a couple of years, and that was fun. Had some opportunity to travel, and then later on, I worked in a different capacity. It was still traveling. I still had the opportunity to travel, and then I went back to school because the first thing I did was business. But I wanted to travel and see the world, and so I did that. And I went on to nursing school. Yeah, I went on to nursing school, and even while in nursing school, I worked at the airport. People are like, "How did you do that?" I'm like, "I was doing reservations. I was, was having fun."
Sharon, hold that thought. Hold that thought. Guys, if you don't have, because I'm already like, my jaw is already dropping. Somebody needs to tell me, like, Goga, you need to like pull your mouth out because stop looking shocked. If you don't have the co-host, the link is pinned up there on top of my chat. Please click on that link. It will take you directly to her channel. The live stream is also happening on her channel. I want you guys to support her so that you can watch the live stream from that other side as well. Do me that favor because it's the same live stream. We are multi-streaming on both sides. And you are lucky because on that side, you won't see a lot of ads popping up like here. So you can go watch and support her from the other side. So let's do her that at least favor because she's sharing her time with us and also like her wisdom and knowledge with us. So before she like goes on, because I know you are listening to the story, you people have receipts too much.
Well,
Before she
they're
continues,
like, Sharon, spill the
they're like,
beans.
Goga, can you let the lady talk? Yeah. So you're holding them hostage. So if you want the lady to continue talking, click on the pinned link and jump on the other side, and then the story will continue there.
super
Sharon,
amazing.
how do you move from like being in the airline industry to nursing? Like people
Well,
will
you know,
want to,
at that
yeah,
time, at that
yeah.
time, a lot of deregulation started to happen. So when they deregulated, you know, the pricing and the routes and everything like that, and that's back in the day before a lot of you guys were born. Now I'm telling my age, you know, things change, you know, where there was Pan Am Air, and
Yeah.
people remember those TWA, all those, you know, just a lot of
Mm,
stuff. So things
yeah.
started to change, and I knew that I wanted a lot of flexibility because that at that time, you know, from
Mm,
work and reservations, then they're saying, okay, if you wanted to go resic, then you could become a flight attendant. They were moving their employees all over the place. And I'm like,
mm,
you know, this is a little bit too much for me. I just want it to be easy peasy. And so
yeah.
then while I worked for another company, I then decided to go back to school. I returned to school and I chose nursing school, which is what I originally wanted to do before I left high school. But I always thought
Mm,
I'd put that, you know, on the burner and go have some fun. And that's how I was able to do it. So I was in school while I worked and raised a family, a young family at the time. It wasn't easy, but I'm so glad that I did. And it offered me because I wanted the flexibility to continue to work. And I always tell people,
mm,
you know, years later when I became a life and career coach, because people would ask me, how do you do all of those things? I say, do what you love. And it's so true. The thing that makes your heart sing, the thing that when a lot of people tell you, and you say, well, how do I know what I can do other than my job? The thing that people tell you that you're so good at,
mm.
that just may be the thing. The thing that you would do that folks won't even have to pay you. And for me, that's how radio was. I loved it so much. I always say it's the air that I breathe. It's the air. Get it?
Nice.
Like, you know, on the air, but it's the air that I breathe. And
Of
so
course.
for me, I was able to do that on the weekends. I started out doing voiceovers. Somebody heard my voice, thought it was unique. We did that. And so, you know, just little stuff like that, and ended up going into radio. And of course, I still worked as a nurse, and nursing afforded me to work only 3 days per week, you know, three 12-hour shifts. The
Mm,
4 days, that was mine. And that's exactly what I did. So, for those who are listening in, if there's something that you truly love and you're wondering, you know, how can I make this thing my passion or my purpose? The mistake a lot of people make is that they're always thinking about, how am I going to make money from this? And if you lead with that, then you're going to lose the passion for what it is that you have. And when you're really good at what you do, everything else will fall into place. And so, yes, I raised my family, I created that balance, I had fun, and I did radio on pretty much on the weekends, like 1 day a week. So I was always 1 day a week, and that was it. And so that's how that all happened, my whole life story.
amazing, amazing. Radio, I was experienced like because I always tell, and just to the people maybe listening in, one of the things that content creators struggle with a lot is, you know, just expressing themselves. And I get asked that question a lot, like, how do you get comfortable even doing things like live streams? And I always say that, you know, the day you joined YouTube, you effectively made yourself like either a TV producer, a co-host, a TV host, a radio host. You literally made yourself all those things in one. So to the people maybe are still struggling in terms of expressing themselves, because I know the radio involves a lot of using your voice. You can actually control the emotions I think people feel based on what you're doing, even though like on radio, just using your voice. What are some of the lessons, you know, from radio that, you know, that in case there's a content creator here who is looking at you and is like, I love how she speaks, I love her voice, you know, what are some of the tips that, you know, for somebody who's a beginner that, you know, you can at least pass to them from your
I would
experience?
say that. And there are a lot of people who are interested in podcasts where they don't want to
Mm,
be seen, they don't mind being heard. And for me, I'm so comfortable. I'm really comfortable on the audio apps for me, because, you know, you could jump up anytime and you could do
mm,
it, get your voice together, whatever you need to do. And, you know, and I'm there. One of the things that I learned years ago, I had a mentor in radio, and I used to worry about sounding perfect. And she said, they can't even see you, they don't even
mm,
know if you're messing up. And so I know that all of my videos aren't perfect over here on on YouTube, and I've watched some of the content creators because I'm just trying to be myself, not worrying
Mm,
about the aesthetics and all of that. And sometimes I put on a little lipstick, and I'm like, gosh, do I really want to do this? However, what I've learned is just being authentic, being yourself until you find your niche, till you
mm,
find that audience, the individuals who want to hear you. And of course, people have to know, like, and trust you, the know, like, and trust factor. So they'll
mm,
see that I'm not perfect and I'm not trying to be. If I feel like sitting on my porch, sip my tea and have a conversation, I'll do that. If I'm traveling, I'll share some clips. So bring you whatever it is that you're doing and all the other things that you need to learn because there's a lot to
mm.
learn here on this particular platform and I'm taking it all in. I say just be we hear this a lot, but it is so true. Be your authentic self. Think of that niche that you are going to speak to and just show up. If you make a mistake, they really don't know. Because sometimes I can make a mistake and then I'll stumble over my words and I'll say like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I knew I messed up."
I know.
Right?
I know. I love
So,
it.
yeah, just be you and be comfortable with it.
I love it. Be your authentic self. Be your authentic self. Be you. Be you. I love that. And it's a very powerful thing. So airline industry, nursing, radio host, family, because you said the family was young and the family is
Mhm.
still growing. How do you balance it all? Like somebody may be struggling about, you're trying to balance a career and a passion. How do you like make it all like, because one of the biggest challenges I think I get from most people on the space, they always say, my husband is always watching me on YouTube and the food is not ready. And these are people who are trying to juggle a passion, and of course they have to take care of their family. And some are, I like using a good example with Helen, my managing mod, because Helen's husband once upon a time came on the live stream and said, no, actually on her premiere, and said, I never see this kind of food at home. And it was the funniest thing I've ever like read on the chat. And I was like, wait, so there's YouTube food and then there's like the other food, like the normal food. So it was a very interesting like balance. So I mean, how do you juggle between a passion and then pursuing your career, and also like you're raising a family, um, without compromising, like without one suffering, because there can also be the risk of like you're pursuing a career at the expense of family, and people get into trouble with that sometimes, or maybe you are pursuing like let's say a passion, and at the end of it, the career ends up like failing. So where do you find the balance
Yeah,
in your
that's an excellent question. And that actually happened. I remember falling in love so much with radio at the
Hmm,
time I was in nursing school, and someone that was my mentor. And it's great to have mentors. You
hmm,
need to make certain wherever you're looking to go, make sure you have a mentor. Yes, coaches are great, but mentorship it's really important. And I remember it's a male disc jockey, and I said to him, "I love radio so much. I don't even think I want to finish nursing school." And I'll never forget it. And we're doing an event that we're going to be giving him an award for being in radio over 40 years.
wow.
But one of the things he said to me, he said, "You know what? My mom was a nurse and she helped a lot of people and she did a lot of amazing things." And he said, "Why not have both?" He was like, "Have both?" He said, "Why not have both?" But he said, "Nursing is a noble career and you should
Hmm,
go ahead and finish that and just create the life that you want." And that was the first time I really heard that. How do I create that life? And so even now part of my tagline is to create a business around your lifestyle. So I chose that, and you have to use common sense because at the time I knew I wasn't going to make a lot of money in radio because with radio here in the States you have to move all over the place. And
hmm,
later on I did get invites for other opportunities to be on a major radio station in New York City on the AM side of it, but I had a young family, and so I had decisions to make. And so that's something. Sometimes it can be overcome by that passion, but you're also going to want to use common sense with it. Can
hmm.
I build this, learn as much as I can, and still create time in my life around my career for that thing that I love so much? And I was able to do that. Yes, there were moments that I felt like I could have gone one way than the other. But I'm glad the way when he spoke to me and told me that I made a very good decision, and I'm glad that I.
Mm, I love that. Why not do it all? Why not show up in all of it? It's very reflective. Just thinking about it, that you'll figure it out as you go. And then so most of the time, I would say that then most of the time, then I think you spent in your career life would have been the nursing space, because this one now spans over 25 years. The airline industry, that was also like a very good basis of experience. Customer service at its best. You have to deal with people. Nursing, you have to deal with your patients and stuff. My brother is a studying nursing, and he's specializing specifically on the delivering babies, and he says those ones are not patients, Goga, they are clients. Like, they're never patients, because I have to help a mother bring their baby to life. And I always find it as the most hilarious thing, because he said, no, I don't deal with patients, I deal with clients, and he's happy about it. He's happy about it completely. Dealing with people, you interface a lot with people generally in your industry, even radio itself. And I just think of radio also as your passion. You definitely have to interact with people, and sometimes this can be quite something. Your personality type vis-a-vis your career, has it always been a match? Because you do have, there are people who are extroverts and they can literally be out there and everything, and then you have introverts who are just like, I dread dealing with people. I want to go back. I want to go back to my small space after dealing with the rest of you all. So how was that like, especially considering that nursing exposes you to, and we've had a home care queen is on the chat, and home care queen, I think when she was sharing with her experience about sometimes she's dealing with clients who may be terminal, there are a lot of like dynamics that play around, especially when you're dealing with people. So nursing specifically, having been the longest space where you are in, what was that experience like? And is there a particular story based on that practice that, if you are to you look back every single time and it makes you just, yeah, have a moment?
You're asking the good questions. Yeah, for me, I've always loved working with people. And for me, it was my voice, reservations, just talking to them. They're going on vacations. It wasn't always happy. Sometimes they may be going for a funeral or something like that. So it's just showing up and holding the space for those clients on the phone. Now, in person, I worked pretty much critical care, ICU, critical care, and emergency room nurse. So in that sense, I'm having the interaction with people. And we have to understand, for those of us in the healthcare field, a lot of people are very vulnerable. Sometimes they're scared. You have to deal with them. Also, their family members who could be scared, could be upset. They may not have their autonomy, things that they were able to do for themselves. And so a lot of your empathy, you have to, I always say, and that's why when people ask me, what does the RN stands for? They think it's only just for a registered nurse. It stands for recognize you need to nurture yourself and your business or whatever else it is that you do. So that's how the RN to CEO, recognize you need to nurture yourself. So it's a lot of self-care, caring for me and also caring for my patients. So really, how you show up, they say how you show up one way is how you show up in everything. So for me, it was me pouring into my clients and seeing them, face to face, like in the emergency room. For any of the nurses here, they will tell you it can be pretty tough. Sometimes you're ducking stuff. You're dealing with all types of things. You see a lot of things there, but it's that love for people. You need to have a genuine love for people. And I'm hoping that everything that I do, it comes across. And that's who I am. I'm a nurturing individual. And I've been able to bring that into whatever it is that I do. So, yeah, it's really caring for people.
All right. Rebecca Prince there says, Sharon's beauty matches her personality and her smart brain. I love that kind of compliment. Rebecca Prince, thank you so much for that beautiful compliment. This is a bit of an awkward question before I ask the next question, but bear with me. I'm sure you've seen this name on the chat. There's a question here for you by David Hunt. Please ask the host, do nurses eat okra? David, what is your take on okra when it comes to healthy eating?
Eat okra?
This one is a commercial. This is always a commercial break. So your answer, yeah.
He wants me to answer that. Well, first of all, I'm Jamaican, so okra. When we make the steamed fish, and we put the steamed fish with the okra, hey, that's Jamaican uncle. Any of them are joyful Julie will tell you. We cook with meat. We cook with it with a steamed fish. We do the ting and ting and ting. All right.
Thank you. I love you, Sharon. You have won that match. David and I normally have a feud on YouTube about okra. So any guest who comes to the Sunday service, I have to ask them their opinion on okra. So it's always like it's an ongoing feud. So today I've won because you went all out, and David, I won this one. Let it go, David. Misha Bless, thank you so much for the raid. Misha Bless, thank you so much for the raid, and the people came in through the raid. Misha Bless, thank you so much. I really appreciate the raid. Sheena is in the building. Sheena just turned 50. Sheena sells thrifty treasures. That's my amazing sister from Oklahoma. She just celebrated her 50th birthday. It was early this morning.
Wish I had my pom-pom too. For her,
so happy birthday, Sheena. Happy 50th. She said 50 and fabulous. That's I think how she described it. Yeah, that's how she described it this morning when she was doing her sales. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in for the Sunday service. If you don't have RN2, once again, the link is pinned up there on top of the chat. Please click on the link. You can go watch the live stream from there. It will take you directly to another live stream, but it is on her channel. So we are multi-streaming.
To get those watch hours.
Give her those watch hours, connect to her so that she can grow and stuff like that, so that at least we can continue. But is like, oh wow, Sharon, you are amazing. Okay, you're already getting compliments here. This gentleman, I can see you from a mile away. She's not single. She's not single. I know where these compliments are coming from. Awesome. I know. I can see how they are building. They're building that question. They're building that question. Let me say. So I like that background because at least it helps us understand. Understand at least a few things about who Sharon is and everything. You're also an author because I do know you have a book. Let me just say that I can share it on the panel so that you can tell us something about it briefly before we get into the meat of this conversation. Let me see. It's on Amazon.
Okay, I think that's probably my journal there. It's my journal. I have other books that we have to connect with. Yes.
I know this one specifically, the Embracing Your Awesome Power Within.
And there's a book for it too, but I just need to put it up there.
All right. Awesome. I love this specifically because it was like I literally resonated with that particular topic. So I think that was pretty good in terms of tell us about like the authorship, because you wear so many hats, and what inspires the writing as well. Like what is like your when it comes, because writing is a whole different ballgame. So what actually makes you put these things on paper?
Well, what really happened back in, I think 2012 or 2013, the first time I became a published author, somebody approached me about being part of an anthology, because I knew I didn't have the time. I did not have the time to write anything. It was a pretty busy time, that particular period in my life. And she was like, oh, you don't have to write anything. I was like, really? She said, you just have to talk it. So just like you and I are here having a conversation. So I spoke my chapter. She called in, they took the information, they did their editing, they cleaned it up somewhat, and voila, I became so that was my first part. And so I think I've been in about maybe 3 different anthologies, and there's some things that I have written. Along with that, I've also supported other people give birth to their books. And it's not like it wasn't like I was a ghostwriter or anything. I just felt that if I was assigned to that individual, that they needed to give birth to their book. So I supported a lot of people with that, but that's not really my thing. But I think in everything that we do, we really need to be in touch with what is it that we're called to do. And for me, even with coaching, I always tell my clients, especially if we're a good fit, I understand the assignment. I know that I'm assigned to individuals for a certain period of time in their lives. And that has been amazing. And I've always listened to that. So that's how that came about. So yes, I've been in other anthologies. There are one more that I need to release this year, and another anthology. I'm looking for even international nurses who may be interested to tell their story. If they
Mm.
are ready to do that, they can reach out to me because I feel that it doesn't matter where on the planet we are, we can tell our story.
Yes, I like that.
So that's where I am this season.
Guys, that is literally a call. That is a call to like reach out and just take advantage of this opportunity, because the world nowadays does not have borders. It's just on paper. So reach out, and I think if she can help you like achieve that dream and that particular milestone, I think that's pretty good. Sheena says, Nas, 26 years, retired. You're having a lot of people here like who are just coming through, and they're like, yeah.
Are they nurses too?
I didn't even know Sheena was like a nurse. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. Like, and she just, that is something that she never even talks about it a lot. But
Mhm.
wow, interesting to know. So I'm glad that at least that is coming out. And then she says, she has a beautiful spirit. She has a beautiful spirit. Aren't you? Aren't you was in church, guys? She was in church when you were planning the whole thing, and she's like,
Oh
"Okay,
my God, yeah. And I'm going to show you now. I don't know if I should show you guys. Well, this morning, I went to the 11 a.m. Eastern Time service because they
yeah,
changed them. So everything has been changed maybe by half hour or 15 minutes. So those of us who thought we were going to 10:30 or 10:45 when we're getting there, it's really, I think, 11 a.m. to 12:30. So I'm like, okay, it has changed. It was so beautiful this morning, and I was in church. I was all into it. The tears are streaming down, and I just felt good. And my alarm went up. I'm like, oh. And then the pastor, listen to this, Goga, was like, sometimes we're in a rush to go places when all we need is to just be still and know that He is God. And I'm like, in the midst of it. But yeah, this morning I did. I had my moments to just be thankful and to be grateful. I cried off the little makeup or whatever, but I felt good, and I think it's a beautiful thing. Whichever way, some people they meditate, whatever it is you choose to do, is to take that time for you. I'm not worried about who's ready and who can't make it because, like I said, my daughters are adults, and then just one that's here. But I'm telling you right now, this is my time. And that's where I went, and it was amazing. And thank you so much for just being so patient with me. But I just got into it this morning. I had to do my little,
I love it. No, I love it. I love it because you asked me about the times. I knew you're busy planning around it, and thank you so much for just also honoring the call. It's not something that you take for granted, because this is a Sunday. You spared your time. You could have been probably having some time with your family, but you are here to also share with us the service. So I'm happy. I like how you say, "Be still and know." And I'm like, Pastor, I need to be at the Sunday
yeah,
service.
I need to be on. So I had to get up and do one of these numbers with the two fingers up. I was like, oh gosh, talk about whatever. I came and I got my praise on, so it was good.
The service. So we normally call this because even David Hunt, who was asking about okra. David Hunt is in church, and I don't know how he normally attends this Sunday service, and he's in church, right, playing the instruments and stuff. So I think he's always pretending to be like doing things on his computer, but because he's the music artist for the church, so no one will really know that he's at Goga Sunday service.
What country is he in? Where is he? Where's David? What country is he in?
No, David is based in David. Where David? I think you are in Boston, right? Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah, Boston. He's in Boston.
Far from New York.
Boston. Yeah. So I'm like, David is always in church on a Sunday, and then he's also at the Sunday service. And he's like, Goga, can you repeat that what you just said? I'm like, the pastor, I couldn't hear it very well because I'm in church, and I'm like, David, you are in church and you are here. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to multitask, and Thank you so much. So this is normally the service after the service. Talk to us about RN2, because one of the amazing things that made me say that it will be nice to have you on the panel is the amazing work you do in terms of coaching. And one of the things is like you're trying to help all these beautiful women try to achieve financial freedom, and at least live a life at least that can be, they keep living life in their own terms. When I like it when I go to your website, when I went to your website, and you say be a nurse and think like a boss. Like it's so powerful. Like it's so powerful. Like, and I was like, how can we apply this in my space? Because for me, I always say that you can get knowledge from everywhere. And I was like, yes, I know you are RN2 CEO, and I know your initial target was like the nurses and everything. But I always say there is knowledge that you've gained from a position you sit in as a coach. And especially a coach who has really helped people to get more impact, find more freedom in terms of their money. And I said, how can this help us? Because sometimes I like to think that we are also in the space of business. The more you stay on this particular platform, the more you realize you have to start thinking like a business person.
Absolutely.
It is like, how can I partner with brands? How can I get how can I get this done on the channel? Even changing subtle things like your logo, it becomes like you start becoming professional a bit, because then people take you a bit seriously. You're not just like hanging out, but there's some goal you have in mind. And that's why I said you'll be the perfect fit, because I think I watched like about 3 to 5 of your videos, and I was like, I love this lady. And I love how she's saying the truth without like even screaming. She's just like putting it as it is. Like, you need to show up. You need to like make those conscious decisions. You need to start saving. You need to put I like what you said. There's a video you did, and you're saying that you need to put yourself in the room where those decisions are being made, because and you used to say how you used to like take advantage of those free courses that you used to attend, workshops, conferences, in order to be able to like meet certain people who could help you achieve a certain goal. And for me, I think that was like, aha, I was like, perfect. Let's get the coach to come and talk to us about this. What is the story behind RN2 CEO, and why was it important, for you to like get into this particular space in terms of how you can empower clients? And you have a very strong ambition, like you want to empower over 2 million women and some brave men. That
And I
is, of
keep
course,
changing that, brave men. It don't have to be and some, just brave men.
and brave men.
I'll tell you what happened with that. In 2012, I became a board certified life and career coach. So that's how I started out. I started out as a life and career coach. And the nurses in the background would tell you, we're always going to school for something. We're like, if I'm going to become a coach, I am going to be certified, not just certified, but board certified, and all of that. There's more things and more things. But what started to happen, and this is what I'm saying, why did I know that I wanted to become a coach? And many of you have people asking you the same questions. If they're asking you the same thing over and over again, you're going to start to say, whatever you're doing, you're going to say, something with that. And so I decided that was the question people was asking me. How do you do this? How do you do that? And then when they got close enough, they found out that I was an entrepreneur since really 2003. And they're like, wait a minute. So you're an entrepreneur, but I wanted life coaching. And so what was interesting, many people who came for business actually needed life and career coaching. And some who came for that actually needed business information. And like, how do I combine the two? So that was quite interesting. So it's not just nurses. How I got to RN to CEO, I never really wanted to do it. One of my coaches, she sat me down and she said, listen, do you know how there are millions of nurses here in the United States and all over the world? I'm like, yeah. And she said, why aren't you coaching them? I said, because I don't want to coach me. And she said, what do you mean by that? I said, we're tired. We can be grouchy. If we remember the night nurses will tell you, don't even know what day it is. Everything had to be color coded on the calendar for the kids, whether it was softball practice, piano practice. I can't even remember anything. How am I going to coach me? And she said, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. She said, you're like that flashlight, that person with that flashlight in a dark tunnel. There are others who may want to do the same thing as you did. While you raised a family, you have a career, but you were able to create a business. And when she asked me the best question and I talk about this, she said, What do you really, really want to do? And if you could do it, what would that look like? If you could create that lifestyle, that life, what would it look like? And if you could create that business, I still remember it. And I kept talking and talking, and it was like, oh, well, I could be a nurse and I could have my agency, but my agency is going to be like a concierge with very great customer service, how we care for our clients, how we speak to them, and blah, blah, blah. And I carried on. And she said I spoke for 20 minutes nonstop.
Wow.
And that's the thing, guys. What is that thing you could do? And if you knew you had no chance of failing, allow yourself to dream. What would that look like? And so in those 20 minutes, I spoke. You think Goga can talk? I can talk more than Goga. We can have a competition here. And I dreamt that life, what I needed it to look like. And for me, it was the flexibility, the freedom, and the finances to take care of the people and the causes that were important to me. And so for me, in anything that I'm doing or clients that I'm working with, one of the questions I do ask, how are you here to make the world a better place? How can you make this world a better place than you can leave it than how you saw it? And I believe that you could do that through business. So yes, I'm passionate. I love what I do, but I had coaches, I had mentors, people who held the space for me. I invested in myself. I figured it out, and I allow my clients to figure it out also, because the life that they're dreaming, the life that they are creating, the life that they really want to design for themselves will require you showing up. So for me, it was a dream. What would that look like? And even my business, we think that sometimes we have to do business and it's business as usual. Put a little twist to it. My company, I bring the airline into it. I bring the customer service into it, how I speak to my clients, how I speak to my employees, because even they will tell you in the hospitals, the press ganies and all of that, it's big on customer service, how you treat, because it's about their money here in the States. So it has a lot to do with that. So I think that a person can bring their essence, bring all of them into that business. Ask yourself those questions. Why? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to go into business? Just to make money? Well, no, really. Why do you want to go into business? And if you ask yourself the question, can I turn this platform, what I'm doing, into a business? Can you? Absolutely. Why? And who needs it? Is there a problem that you solve? Did somebody need your services and what it is that you do? And so you start to check those things off. That's why I want to do it. I can make the world a better place. There are people who will need my services. And then you start to do the work to find out who those folks are. And we call that your avatar. Who are these individuals? What are they like? What do they like to read? Where are they? What do they eat? What do they read? What are the things that are important to them? For me, it's their values. I'm very big on your values. What has meaning to you? What is your mission, your personal mission statement, and that for your company? So it's a whole lot of information. I hope folks can glean from it what they can, but it's a great way to just ask yourself. And somebody say, pray about it. Absolutely. Yeah. Why do I want to do this? And how will I make the world a better place? And once you do that, you will start to find the answers. So there's some work to do before you just say, I just want to make some money, because the money will come. It will, but you need to work around it.
You need to do something about it. And the transition from now, the nursing career and all these other things that you did before into coaching. And this is an ignorant question. I want to know the difference between certified and board certified. I just want to like
some of them you just go and you just like I'm a board certified, I'm a registered nurse. So people will say they're a nurse. What type of year? I am a registered, I'm a board through the board of nursing. So I have to answer to that. For nursing, for me, it was just actually coaching in this country, it's not sanctioned by anything really. But if you have other things like ICF, like if you're accredited, the International Coaching Federation, it's some form of standards, different standards. And you can say, oh, I'm board certified over here.
Mhm.
But it's just like a certified coach. And do you really need to have gone to coaching school? Not really, but you do need to
Mhm.
know the difference because we don't do therapy. We do not do therapy, so you have to be very
Yes.
clear. And certain lingos you can understand. So some folks feel like they need to to do coaching, go to coaching school. You can, if you
Mm.
wish to, but like I said, for me, because I was delving into the career side of things, I chose to have done that at that particular time.
That makes sense. So let's say so the transition between you leaving the you retiring from nursing and now getting into coaching. How was that? Because I know it's still like you're interfacing with people and you're bringing in the skills that you've picked over the years based on your experience. You can never like really. I like what you said. You can never really divorce the skills from how you interact with the client. How was that transition though? You're coming from a hospital environment, emergency room environment, to now you have to let us talk, you know, and one of the things I face, and being a yoga instructor, sometimes also like working with clients, different clients, and how people are very different. People are very different goals, and sometimes it's having those difficult conversations, sometimes, and you're like, I have to be very like careful in terms of how to, what that have that particular conversation with them. But how was the transition for you from the nursing space into now coaching, and now you actually have to help people figure out, what they need to do in
Yeah.
order to build their potential?
So for me, because um, the last time I was at bedside was March of 2020. I haven't
Oh
returned to
wow.
bedside since. And a lot of nurses, if they're on here, they will tell you. It will tell you how many nurses are moving away, especially after the pandemic. A lot of
Mhm.
them decided to step away from bedside. And so, even before then, like I said, I've worked with other nurses during that time. Oh my goodness, there was a mass exodus. Right now, a lot have returned back and they've created their business. I've always encouraged my clients to I don't just go jump up and quit your job. You need to have a plan. And for me
Mhm.
to step away, it took 4 years. 4 years. I didn't have to, but all of it was here. It was the mindset. It was a mindset because now this is real and it is a business. So for me, how I pivoted into business coaching because it is a business. One has to know how to run a business. You need to know how to have your budget. You need to know, like I said, once you understand who the avatar is, and also how to package what it is that you do. So many of my clients who came, they started their own nursing concierge. They needed to know they already have the skills,
Mhm.
especially if you I always you have the goods, so you already I can't teach you any of that stuff. And I've worked from a nurse anesthetist. I'm not a nurse anesthetist. I don't intubate people, and there's some of the nurses who get paid the highest over here. So yeah, they make like can make a $250,000 like no time.
Oh
So
wow.
they're nurse anesthetists like, why do you want to leave that? Okay. But they have their vision of having their own business. And so I'm telling them, well, in the meantime, you can continue to work and we create this business. And then you're going to need to know who are the people, the team that you need to have in place to support that business. But you also need to understand your numbers. So that was it. So leaving bedside for a lot of the nurses, why I chose when I said I didn't want to do it to coach me, because I had to learn those things. And so the RN to CEO, we have an academy for it. So it's a lot about your avatar. It's a little bit about branding. It's about pricing. It is about messaging. It's about sales. It's about finances. And they're like, oh my goodness, yeah. So it doesn't matter what type of business you're doing. It's just a segment of my company where I support I support nurses. So RN to CEO is just a segment of my coaching company because I have other individuals who aren't nurses. But the concept of business is the same. So
I
that
love.
was the thing. I had to understand business.
Makes sense. And that we are getting into that process and just the initial, ways, the building blocks towards that particular business, the challenges that you faced,
Mhm.
the opportunities, the networks, and those kind of things. Yeah. So Tina Lee says, I like this setup. I'm like, Tina, there's a CEO on the panel. So I was just having a conversation with Tina on the chat, like, there's a whole CEO on the panel. We can't afford not to have a beautiful setup. So yeah, there's a CEO on the panel. Guys, thank you so much. I see you guys are connected to Sharon on her channel as well. Thank you so much for that. I don't take it
I
for
wish I had
granted.
somebody over there just saying hello to everyone. If
Yeah,
Joyful jumps on,
we
she
could
may.
we could assign Christina is doing an amazing job there welcoming people. I've seen Christina, bold pictures with Christina is doing an amazing job there welcoming everyone. Yeah, so yeah, thank you so much, Christina. I saw Christina earlier there. I saw Wanga Lady in the chat. Let me just say hi to Wanga Lady. Special thanks. There is Favor. Favor is also on the chat. Favor is also a nurse. Can you imagine? Favor the nurse midwife. That's her name on the YouTube
Wow.
screens. Yeah,
Okay.
you
You know,
you
looking
you
for.
brought you brought in all the nurses here, so this is
Oh
good. This is
yeah,
good.
there are
This is good.
millions of us. I don't
This
want
is good. This
everybody
is
to leave the bedside, so I encourage nurses to teach if they can. And for
mm,
me, I do networking. I encourage the young nurses during COVID. I was actually retiring that June, and so when March came around and everything started to start happening, and plus I worked agency, so I only booked when I wanted to work.
mm,
And when all of that happened during the pandemic, I felt so guilty. I wanted to run back into the heart of things, but that wasn't
yeah.
what I needed to do. And I started to reach out to a lot of the nurses, and I had something that I called tea time. And so I would open up my calendar for 20 minutes where these nurses could just come and have tea, just to chat. And many of them weren't
Nice.
complaining, especially the new nurses. Many of them asked me, like, here I was excited to becoming a nurse, and now it's a pandemic. Like, oh my goodness, how can I be effective? And I'll never
Mm,
forget one nurse asked me, she said, I go in and I have all this stuff on. They can't see me. And I don't know how, if I'm really having an impact. And I said to her, I said, even if they can't see your face, know that
mhm,
they can hear you. So that's when the empathy in your voice, when you speak to them, your voice will say a lot. Even though at that time you could not stay in the room for too long, you have on the gloves, the mask, and everything. Even if you touched them, do that with empathy, explain things to them. And up to this day, because I have a private community on Facebook for my nurses, she still remembers how I was able just to share that information with her. And some of them, if I wasn't able to serve them, I would, just point them in the direction of other nurses who may be able to support them. So the way you speak to people have a lot to do with it. The touch, there's so much in the touch. So you never lose those things in the empathy. And that's the same thing you could bring into your business. You can still stand on business and build healthy boundaries, right? And
mhm.
business boundaries, but also the human side of you still needs to be there.
The healing side of it needs to be there. You called it the nurturing. I
The
love, I love, I love that aspect of the nurturing something because it means that you're kind of going to take care of it. And I remember, like, if you can nurture something, then it means there's value. Yeah, you actually value that particular thing. And I was just a few things like this is one of your clients. Sharon gave me all the tools I needed to see my business as a whole, and she broke it down for me into actionable steps. Every day I see the growth in my work. I'm forever grateful for her giving me the blueprint to create a sustainable foundation for my empire. There are certain words here that she used: empire, blueprint.
And I know who
Uh,
that is. Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
she
So,
actually did create that for herself. She's actually in Bali right now, and on my
oh,
uploading some of my stuff from Bali. And I remember I was coaching her. She posted something on Facebook, and I said, I remember when we were having a coaching call. So wherever in the world I am, because I think it's like a 12-hour difference. We were having a coaching call, and she said, "Coach, where are you?" And I swung the my computer around, and she said, "It's beautiful." I said, "I'm in Bali," and she said, "I want to go there one day." That's where she is for her 40th birthday. She is in Bali. See those things? I'm telling you guys, write it down. Her empire, her story. And that's one of the things, Goga, we need to talk about. People need to tell their story. She built her business around her story. She built her business, and it's public, so I can talk a little bit about it. She does a lot with maternal health, and she lost two babies, and so it's very public, so I can say that so that's part of her story, and she created a whole movement out of it. So she knew why she wanted to do that, and she knew the impact she wanted to have, and how she wanted to make this world a better place for other moms, right? And she was able to do that, and was recognized by the governor of her state for the work that she has done. And now, when she told me I kind of retired from nursing, I was like, well, I didn't want you to retire from nursing, but the work that she's been to do has been amazing. She's built an amazing organization that's serving others because she wanted to help. See, when you're passionate about something, I think Zig Ziglar said it. If you give enough people what they want, you in turn will get what you want. Let that sink in. If you give enough people what they want, you in turn will get what you want.
I love that.
And she's being compensated handsomely for that, so she can help others and create her life.
Called to millions. Called to millions. Oh. I like
we'll talk about that. Well, tell you, yeah, go ahead, ask me. Let me sip the coffee bowl now. Yes. I'm not Goga now. This is me. I'm sipping the coffee.
Yeah, sip your decaf and call to millions. Hey, unscripted, how you doing unscripted? I saw Rose Kwamboka, Ruth Kwamboka, nice to see you as well. Hadjway is nice to see you. JD, thank you so much. And thank you so much, guys. I can see you guys connecting to Sharon. You guys are excited and you are enjoying her questions. Feel free to ask any questions on the chat in case you have any. And I like how some of you are sending just these beautiful compliments. Thank you so much for that. Allow me to also acknowledge, let me just acknowledge also the presence of Hura for Hannah. Thank you so much for the membership as well. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much, Hura for Hannah. May your pot brim with abundance. Thank you so much for that renewal. Called to millions, because you are talking about millions here. When you say millions, there are people are triggered here. They're like, hey, did you say millions?
Oh, Goga, you found that, huh? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Call to millions, and it's literally screaming there on your banner. It is, guys, that is the channel I'm projecting. That is Sharon's channel I'm projecting.
Can I tell you something, Goga? And I'm going to say this to your audience.
Yes.
And I'm going to pause a little bit, audience. I want you guys to really hear me. I believe in something that's called the divine download. And anything...
Wait. Say it again.
It's called the divine download. You probably get those when you meditate, or you'll wake up and you have an idea, or you'll have these dreams and you're like, I'm going to remember it, then you forget it. Everything that you see, RN to CEO, Call to Millions, my coaching company is called Your Awesome Power Within. I trademark every last one of those.
Wow.
Call to Millions, because everybody, it's millions. But I know that what I do is a form of ministry. You can hear how it sounds, called to millions, what it's called to. And I was like, I just don't want it to be about money. And I thought of the lives that I've touched through radio and over the years. And I said, my goodness, I've touched millions. And when I recognize that the people that I'm called to serve, there are people who are touching the lives of other people. So from the work that I'm doing to the people that I'm called to coach, and so on and so on and so forth. So we are called to millions. And making some millions in that is pretty nice too, right? So it's any way you want to look at it, but it's about the lives that we're called to touch through our work. because we're not going to be here forever. Remember, it's the Sunday service. I'm going to go there. But
That's true.
the work that we're called to do, it will touch the lives of millions. And that's what we're here for. And that's how that came about. It is my my high level coaching program. And so usually to in order to get into that program, either you had to have been in business already or you had to have worked with me because it's the deep work. It's most of the block most of my clients get, it's around their pricing. If we're really going to talk about it, they have a hard time, especially my nurses, on I can't charge that. Or, and I'm like, why not? You're investing with me. And so we do a lot of work around it and positioning. And folks, I tell you, to make a decent living, you don't have to work a whole lot. For me, with my blueprint for my companies, I always said that I want my company to do well. So, and I'll work with the folks who have the money. I have no problems with that. So, if I need to do pro bono or work for someone else, I can do that. And we'll talk a little bit about the missions that I do. And I always wanted my company, I always said that I want to be able, I love to give. I'm a giver. I also had to learn how to receive. I didn't know how to do that. We want to do this, but I'm not. And then till somebody picked up the phone and called me, she said, "Don't block my blessings." And I said, "Huh?" I didn't understand that when people are extending to you, and I learned that and I understand it. Because there are times that I want to sow. I want to, and if somebody said, "Well, don't give it to me, you just blocked my blessings." Because there are those of us who understand the law of reciprocity. You just don't give to get, but it's a beautiful feeling. There's something just beautiful about it that when you give, something opens up for you. And so, as much as something is going out, something else will come in. And you want to be mindful of receiving. There are things that I have missed because I was not in tune with whatever was going on. You might have missed that email. You might have missed that discount. You might have missed that scholarship. You missed it because you're not in tune with what is, right? So for me, it's about using my business so it'll do well so that I can give. And also, don't wait until you have a business. If you're not a giver now, what makes you think you're going to give then? So, and I don't dictate to people, what to do and how to do it. It's just something that I know that's something that we're supposed to do. It's something that we're all connected to. And it makes life beautiful. And I can't remember the question, whatever it was. Let me sip the cold.
No, it was just like it was. Yeah, I think it was just one of those things, and I think I'm going to just piggyback on what you just said. We need to tell our stories more often, and because
Yes.
sometimes I like that because most of us we are not comfortable sharing our stories, and sometimes we don't even know how to tell our story. Sometimes it starts with something like, I like how you introduce yourself. You're very specific, you know who you are, this is what you do. But there are some of us we stutter even when we are to tell people, who are you? Like, who are you? Like when it comes really to the fine print of it, because the other time I think I was doing a tutorial here on YouTube, and I think I was teaching people about their description page, because when you go through a number of channels, you realize that people are not so sure about what they're doing on YouTube. So some are just put like a random thing there. Some put their number. Some put like it's very different. Then you meet some people like David who's saying, "I'm a musical mastermind.
Oh,
I've been,"
nice.
like there's a way he starts his introduction, and I'm like, damn. you know you look at Jason and Gina and they say, "Dearly beloved." That's how they start their description, and they go through a whole paragraph that telling their story and who they are and things like that. How do we like showcase more of our stories? And I think you probably heard this from some of your clients, because I believe one of the things in coaching, you have to sit down with them and they have to like tell
Yeah.
you the
Mhm.
story so that you can understand them. But how do we get better at showcasing our stories? Because one of the things that I know somebody once told me, and I started picking it up, was that you need to shine your achievements more, and don't be ashamed about doing it, because one of the things is that we feel like we are going to make somebody feel bad. like you're rubbing it in their face. But in most cases, it's your achievement. You got it. You earned it. There's no problem about putting it out there. And so they say that in your, professionally in your career, you need to be bringing out the achievements more often. And I do that a lot on my LinkedIn and my profile and everything.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Goga, I always stay in my lane. And I know you're very good at what you do. So I'll be like, Goga, I need a class or two. Because, and that's the thing too, give props to those, because that's your skill set. That's your brilliance. And I know for me with these YouTube streets, it's not me. And I'm like, I know I need support with some of those things. And that's one of the first things to admit, that you need support. Telling your story is important. I remember you asked me that maybe, what was one of those things that might have happened in nursing that that I could share. And I want to learn how to tell the story without crying. So many of the nurses will tell you, we have experienced things that would just break you apart. And I had one particular thing that happened, and I call it a miracle, but I didn't know how to tell the story without myself crying and without letting everybody depress them, say, how can I tell the story? And I remember back in 2011, 2012, Lisa Nichols, you guys might have known her from The Secret.
I love Lisa Nichols.
And I took a couple of her courses. I was one of her first powerhouse speakers when she did powerhouse speakers back then. Loved it. She is phenomenal. And I remember there's another app that's called Clubhouse. And at that time, Les Brown, if you guys know who Les Brown is, just Google him. I'm sure there are people who know Les Brown. And Les Brown so happened to have been in that room, in that audio room. And I said, there's a story that I want to tell, but how can I tell the story without crying? And he said, just tell it. And I started to tell the story of, and it's been many years because, we worry about HIPAA and all of that stuff, the privacy. Don't ask me what all of that means, but it's all the privacy. So I had to learn how to take that story. And every story needs to have a meaning, right? It must mean something. There needs to be an end to it. Like, why are you even telling the story? And the story had to do with a young gentleman that I took care of who was in a coma. And I was working the CCU critical care. And this had to be over maybe 18 years ago. So it's been a while. 17, 18. It's been a while. My goodness. Wow. Yeah. And I was like really thinking that, because I left it. So it could have been around 2003, 2004. How long is that? Ouch. Oh, I just,
yep.
Oh my God. But I remember taking care of him, and every night I worked at night, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And each time I would take care of him, I would talk to him. I said, hey, today's date. The weather was like this, when you're washing them at night, he was intubated, have every tubes everywhere you could think of. And I said, well, it's a beautiful day today. Today's this date, the weather. And I said, oh, it's the World Series that's going on. And I'm like, the two teams. And, I'm just a chatty catty. I'm talking to him. I'm turning him. I'm doing everything. And then I noticed that he started to move, like the right leg would move. And then the opposite, the left arm. And I'm like, whoa. So we had to chart, like, he's moving, the brain waves, everything just started coming back. And I remember taking care of him, talking to him, his family members were there. And that's all I did. I just spoke to him, I documented, just gave my report. Came back, I think I had 2 or 3 days off. And I remember one of my nurses called me, and she called me by my last name. She said, Addison, come, room 21. And I felt my heart beating. I just felt that, oh my God, something happened to my patient. Well, when I walked to the room, there he was laying on the bed, and it was a little dark, like how my background is. It wasn't that much light. And I said, oh my goodness, you're awake. And I remember him closing his eyes, and he said, come closer. And I was like, whoa, I had no idea your voice was that deep. So I was still being my funny, quirky self.
Yeah.
I said, my God, you're awake. And then he said to me, "You must be Sharon. You sure talk a lot." He heard me.
Wow.
He closed his eyes when he said, "You must be Sharon." And usually I set up the story a little bit better. He said, "You sure talk a lot." He heard me. While he was lightly sedated or in the coma, he heard me. He heard me speaking to him. And how do I bring that in today's world? People want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to know that they matter. And to me, that was one of the greatest gifts. I did not know how to tell that story because it was a pretty sad story. Because I would always cry when I would tell it.
Mm.
But when I learned to set it up, and I do set it up a little bit better, like the ambiance, what was the room like, all of those things, and that we have to be careful of the words that we speak over ourselves, over our children, over our lives, over our finances. Words are powerful. And this young man heard everything that I was saying. And my voice was so distinct. Once you hear this voice, you never forget it. He closed his eyes and he recognized me by my voice. Because from him laying in that bed for so many days, or even had to have been over a week. So I say all of this to say that words are powerful. Telling your story is powerful. Understanding why you do what you do, how I choose the types of clients I work with, their stories are powerful because they are changing lives. And one of the things you have to learn, even when you have a business, is how to speak. You're not going to stay in your office and, I'm going to post things on social media and this is the. You have to know how to go out there and represent yourself. Because I seem to have an extrovert personality, the majority of my clients are introverts. They're somehow attracted to this. But also telling your story could be in your copy, in your marketing. You must be able to tell a story in order for people to connect with you. So when I get deep into that, I go deep because I'm very specific about the types of people that I work with. And also the same thing, I'm able to use to support them in telling their story. So whether it's at a networking event or at a workshop or something they decide to do in their community, you still have to learn how to relate to your audience. And for interviews too, it's pretty good. So yeah, telling your story is tremendous.
Wow. You got everyone excited over Les Brown. I can see Cam Jamaica is like, "Oh, Les Brown, did you Goga, did you say?" He crawled out of the bush. He wasn't even like, I don't even type anything on the chat.
Amazing. And I met him in person too. I had an opportunity to meet him, and I wanted to tell him how much of a difference he made in my life. And I remember we were running to that event and we thought we were late because the GPS sent us everywhere else. And I said to my friend, "Would that be something if we opened the door and Les Brown is standing there?" And when we opened the door with his red tie, and I have photos from that, and I told him how much of an impact and a difference he made in my life while I was in nursing school, because I would listen to it over and over again. So words are powerful. Your thoughts are powerful.
David Ant is like, "My God, speak life, speak life,
David.
Speak life, speak life." Kisha was just reacting to what we were discussing earlier about telling our story, and she says, "I do not like to appear boastful, but I'm getting better at it. Yay me, yay me!" And she's cheering herself on there. And I like that because also when you look at it from, I think, a business concept is like sometimes your story, I like the example you're giving with that client of yours, like in terms of her story became the business.
Yes,
and
it is.
And sometimes
can I tell you it's a 7-figure business? That's all I'll say, because some people don't even know what their stories can be.
Girl,
she
really?
did. She built an empire. She really did. She really did.
These are good receipts. Tell us more.
See, this is one of the things that, and she said, tell you more. People are always worried about where I'm going to get the money from. You have an idea, and folks, take notes on this, please. I'm giving you all the goods today. How is
Oh,
somebody?
and before the goods, Joyful Julie is here and she's on the chat. They are so excited.
Hey, is
Yeah.
Joyful Julie in my chat? She's a model.
Joyful Julie is here. And Joyful guys, Joyful
Hey,
Julie
I
is
love
the
her.
branch.
Oh my
Joyful
God.
Julie, Joyful Julie is the branch that linked me to RN2 CEO
Yes,
on
she's
her 15th birthday.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
So
supposed to be in Jamaica in November, and where I'm scheduled to be at a conference. So if all goes well, I'll be seeing Julie. And Julie, I told Julie, I'm already telling her everything I want to eat. She's like 20 minutes away from where.
we will see it for sure. With Julie, I'm sure we are going to see it. It will be televised. It will be televised for sure.
Oh, yeah, that will be, yeah. But
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, everyone keep asking me questions.
So thank you so much, Julie, for like
Thank you,
linking us
Julie.
up. She's now here. She's now here on the panel, and I know she was like the other day she was worried because she came to my sim and I was like, Julie, can you like tell Aaron to see her that I dropped her message? He's like, oh, is that so? She hasn't. I'm like, she got so worried. She, okay, Goga, I'll handle
Yeah,
it. Don't worry, I'll look for
I
her.
have four IG, and something IG is doing because it keeps
Yeah.
signing me out when I'm in different states. And so the RN to CEO, which it is on all platforms, somehow it keeps kicking me out. And I have a private one too. So I have to go into that to get to it. For some reason, it keeps doing that. And so I'm not over there as often as I should be because it's just
Okay.
a little annoying there. So, but I'm thankful Julie was able to connect,
Yeah.
and it spammed your info. So I had to go in the back and then move you into my main.
Ah, okay. No,
To my,
I'm glad at least it happened because I was like, oh, and I'd not seen you like
and
I
I
think
didn't see anything. Yeah.
yeah, so but thank you so much, Julie, and thank you so much for the connection. Hey, carry on. You're about to say something about dropping some wisdom. And guys, once again, if you've not connected to Sharon, you can click on the pinned link. It will take you direct. I have to keep saying that because some of you come here to collect receipts, but the best you can do is support her and just jump
Oh,
on the other side,
yeah.
and also
Before
give her
I
that support.
forget, we were talking about your gifting, your skills, your passion, and people wanted to start businesses and asking about that they have no money.
Hmm.
This is what I want to say to you. If you have an idea and all those questions that I gave you before, why are you doing this? Who do you want to serve? How can you make the world a better place? Who are the folks that you're looking to touch? Is there something that you can solve? Is there an issue that you can solve? Is there a need for it? You do need to do your research also to be very clear on that. And you can have this amazing business and you're saying, but I don't have money. Well, the first thing you're going to do is invest in you. Your job is your first investor. That's how I started my business. So whatever it was to get it registered and all those good things, which was like $125 here in the States, you find out what it is in your country. What does it take to just make sure that I'm registered? And then we talk about opening a bank account, business bank account, and all of that stuff. There are people out there who will invest in your business. I want that to sink in. But how are they going to invest in something that you haven't even started? And so there are people who are able to get grants if you do the right thing, find people who can support you. But if you don't have that business, how are we going to be able to support you? So that's when folks are saying, well, I'm not starting the business that I don't have business. I've had clients who were able to get grants actually because they had a beautiful idea. There was a population that needed to be served, and there were set asides for that. So be clear on the thing that you want to do. You say, well, I want to be a speaker, but nobody's going to pay me. How do you know that? How do you know that somebody doesn't need you, what you have to say on their stage? Somebody like a Julie who can really cook, Julie could have private classes and people would pay her for that. We had a friend who had a restaurant and she had to relocate to Atlanta. And she decided to have small cooking classes for the wives of these major basketball players. These basketball wives can I should say that, but I'm not saying that was just a joke. Don't come for me. But there are people who want to learn to like, how do you cook this? I have people asking me all the time. I'm not a great cook. Maybe Julie have a class or something somewhere. Some people just do it because they're passionate about it. So you may have something that somebody needs. David may have something about music. He could create an ebook. He could easily create an ebook, set it up on PayHip. People may want those things. So you have gifting and skills that you're sitting on it. And maybe you just don't know, how do I do that? And it takes discipline. And this is where the coaching comes in. The business side of things comes in, because a lot of people don't like marketing. They don't like reaching out. Biggest
Yes.
with my clients when it comes to marketing. And remember, my background is in radio. I wasn't just on air, I was also a producer, but I also understood about selling ads in the radio over here. That's what keep them on the radio. It's ads. So I learned about demographics, cytographics. I learned who bought, who's purchasing what, where they are, the breakdown. So there are things that you may not have to know all of these things, but you're going to have to figure out, how am I going to keep finances, cash flow coming into the business. So that's a very important part of it. So yeah, your gifting and your skills can really change your lifestyle.
I love what you said. Ebook. David is running. Like, wait a minute. I don't even thought about that. Yeah, that's why you need to engage. That's why you need to engage as a coach, David. So yeah, that's why she's the coach. That's why you
There
need
are
to engage
websites that can help you. People can go on Fiverr. There are people, listen, there are other people overseas. Like, I have an assistant. Sometimes I don't have time. Like me trying to send you stuff, Goga, I'm a hot mess. Right? Because she was all, and so I could have just said, here's the link to my media kit. But I was like, just like somebody said before, I don't want to do all of that. I have a link to my media kit. Choose what picture you want. All the information is there. Just that it needs to be updated, right? You can have people who can support you. Some of you are good at what you do. As long as you're honest, you have integrity, you know how to send emails, you know how to create a what do you call it, a newsletter, whether it's survey, all the different things, that little things that you can do, you can turn it into business. And that's why so many of us are using people overseas, whether they're in the Philippines or Pakistan or wherever. They are our virtual assistants. They can create books, ebooks, the PDFs, cute things for us. I just don't, so they're
You worry. So you
there's
can
just so
worry
much
about
to
other.
do. Yeah, I'm trying to do it, and I'm just yeah.
I love that. Like, it's amazing. Yeah, I can tell why that is now very crucial. And Nisafari way here is saying that, wow, good stuff in here. Marketing skills are key. And that's the thing. Next thing I was going to ask you, because I know you've talked about this in one of your videos, because I remember you are sharing your story about when you are getting started, especially those growing stages where you had to be everything, like where you had to be the customer relationship manager, you had to be all those things that you are doing at the initial, when you are in the building stages. I think that's what you called it. So in case you want to transition, because one of the things I like it, especially in the name, first of all, you have to admit it that, well, I'm the CEO of this empire.
Mhm.
So now I got to start acting like the CEO. I need to figure out how I'm going to promote myself, promote the platform. What is the value? You talked a lot about value, like what value are you offering? Because if the value is there, then there's likely a market for it. And then now you talked about these other things, like especially the client relationship management, and I like how you said you normally map your relationship with the client, depending on how long it's going to be. Probably that you normally use like a year just to be able to gauge in terms of how you're interacting with the client. So in case like somebody here is just trying to transition their whatever thing that they're doing, their skill, their their passion into a business, what are some of the things you learned early on as a CEO? That if you are to look at that version of yourself right now, what are those stories you will tell yourself not to really sweat about or not to worry about? Because I know sometimes when people are starting businesses, they worry about so many things. It's either the cash, will the money really come? Some of us don't even believe in our business ourselves, and we have to be our greatest cheerleaders. And I like how Kisha was like patting herself in the back. Some of us, we don't even know how to cheer ourselves in terms of, I believe in this dream and things like that. So what are some of those initial probably I don't want to ask the challenges. I don't want to craft them as challenges, but what were those initial learning moments you had as as a CEO, and sitting where you're sitting now, and when you look back, what is that one thing you'll tell that Sharon not to have worried about? Like, it was going to turn out okay anyway.
I think that you just said it is going to turn out okay anyway. I think being consistent. One of the things I had to learn, because everything that I've asked for and I've prayed for, it has happened. And I remember there was a time where things weren't moving as fast as I would have wanted it to. And I became a little frustrated. And that's why I'm saying mentors are good. And I had a mentor, and I would say more like a spiritual advocate. You need them in different areas, whether it's the legal, the medical, the spiritual, educational, the financial. It's almost like having a board of directors. Napoleon Hill talks about that in Think and Grow Rich, which is a great book for you to read. So I have mentors or people or friends in those areas. They're people that I respect. I don't use them, nor do I abuse them. And if I need their services, I will invest into it. But I have people in there. And I remember I said, when it was the spiritual side of things, I said, I'm doing everything, but it's just not happening. And I remember what was said to me was just to wait. And I was like, wait? Well, I'm waiting. So it's like, yeah, you can just wait. You know, wait upon the Lord and be of good courage, all of that. I was like, how much longer? And said, you just have to wait. And so in moments when you feel that things aren't moving as fast as you wanted to, all you could do is wait. Do what needs to be done, because things are working out on your behalf. From my spiritual level, I always feel, and I've always said that sometimes people have to be promoted or demoted, right? They may have to be hired or fired just to get to you. And I want that to sink in.
Whoa, that's powerful.
And one of them happened to have been a business I wanted to do with a bank. And I remember going, filling out my information, giving it to the gentleman. It's been a while. It's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. I'm like, something is wrong. Called the bank. Oh, he's no longer with us. I said, oh my God. Did he pass to him and his family? And she was like, oh no, he went somewhere else. She was like, oops. So I found out he left the company. So what happened to my stuff? And that day, I remember leaving that branch and I went to another branch, the same bank. And what I needed to have done, I told her that I did this, did that. They couldn't find the information. They called over there. My information was somewhere in a file cabinet. It was never uploaded. None of that was done because he knew he was leaving. So in that case, somebody had to be moved out of the way, and for me to go somewhere else and said, here's all my stuff, this is what I need. And thank God when I walked out of there, I got exactly what I wanted. And this is to tell you too, things will happen, and do not become discouraged. Continue to wait, do what needs to be done, and if there's a way around it, with all integrity, you do it. For me, I had to go somewhere else, same bank, but a different branch. Told them my story, what happened, found out he was getting ready to leave. Why should they get all of that with my stuff? And I was able to get what I needed. So sometimes things will happen and we become discouraged. Things will work out. It must. It is. We live under spiritual laws. It must work out. Okay. And so you just have to believe. Don't throw your hands up and say, I give up. This is it. Sometimes you got to know when to pivot. But in the midst of all of it, just be intentional about what it is that you want to do. And I say always operate in integrity and things will work out on your behalf. So if anything, I have to tell her just to continue to be patient. And when the pivot is necessary, then it's necessary.
If the pivot is necessary, then it's necessary. Allow me to acknowledge a few people came in through the chat. Cashley, thank you so much for coming in. I see Cashley there. I see Petro Trisha. Welcome, Petro Trisha. Nice to see you. Trisha! So Trisha and I always have to scream each other's names. So if I say Trisha, tomorrow she'll be after me and say, Goga, why did you not say my name properly yesterday? Trisha. So you have to put like as many A's as possible. And then I also saw Patrice Gordon. Patrice Gordon is checking in there from on your channel as well. Joyful
Wow.
Julie, thank you so much, Joyful
Thank
Julie, for that
you.
amazing job. Yeah, thank you so much. Joyful Julie is doing an amazing job there. So yeah, guys, if you don't have Sharon, please connect to her as well. The link is pinned up there on top of my chat. It's a multi-stream, so we are multi-streaming on both sides of our channels. When you go to that link, you're able to find the live stream also happening on our channel, and then you can connect to her. Stay there until it ends. One of the things I like that statement to just say that somebody either has to be elevated or demoted for you to get for you to be uplifted or to be put where you belong. One of the other things that you said in your content that I like and I resonate with it is because I read it somewhere that every next level of your life will demand a different version of you.
Absolutely.
And I love that statement. I was like, hey, amen. Someone, hey, like it was like, yes, you can't be the same when you're about to make those bold decisions. And that probably was one of the things you had to do when you're starting a business, the journey to become the RN2 CEO. What are some of the things, it is daily habits, it's routines, it is
Yeah.
sometimes, and I hate to say this, sometimes it is even our circles that you
Mm.
are yeah, so sometimes it's even our circles, it's what we read, it's the spaces we are in.
I'll tell you
That
what, every
Yeah.
coach needs a coach. And so I'm in high level masterminds, and there's a whole nother version of who you need to become. It's like, who do you need to become in order for you to be that business person? Because you are going to make mistakes. You are going to overcompensate. I've had clients who say, well, I sent them the invoice and they haven't paid it. I'm like, okay, just send them a gentle reminder. Haven't you ever gotten gentle reminders? Really? But what? I said that person could have been like me, who a night nurse, worked tired, can't even remember what day in the week it is, just tired, exhausted, and they might have had other emails, and you sent a gentle reminder, and guess what? She got paid. So it's those kinds of things. It's like, who do I need to become? Different types of conversations. The type of CEO that I was, or entrepreneur, back in when I first started, is totally different. Also, the conversations are different. You're speaking about, one of the things is like, how do I price myself? Well, I said, we just don't make stuff up. We just don't pick numbers out of, any coach will tell you, we just don't pick numbers out of the air. But how do you do it? So you have to go through the process of, what do I need to do in order for me to do that and to position it? How do I get that client to say yes? The biggest thing people tell me, how do I get them to convert into clients? The know, like, and trust factor is really important. And it used to take 7 touches. Now it's 42. And now I heard it's more than that.
Wait, what?
Because look at all of the big Coca-Cola, they would say McDonald's, all of them. They're always advertising. They're staying on top of mind. And you're saying, well, they may have the money. Well, you can send an email. All right. You may not have millions of dollars, but you can send an email. You can have your newsletter. You can pop up and do a quick live. You can send a text, whichever way you need to do. You're not going to annoy people, because that's not what you're going to do, but you're going to just remind them of what needs to be done. So finding yourself around different types of people. I was in a conversation, it was last December, and this is next level. Next level is like, girl, you need a private jet. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Not I needed the private jet, but these were other 7-figure CEOs. And now they were having conversations about private jets. And I'm like, Goga, I'm like, whoa. I said, I've been into those and they're small. I'm claustrophobic. I'd rather maybe Delta or something. But no, when they need to go where they need to go, the conversations are so different. So you're not going to be in a place like, oh, Oh, and then you'll find out it's not that expensive because 4, 5, 6 people together can make it
Well,
happen. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So their conversations were different. Self-care is huge.
Mm.
So you're a nurse and you're talking about self-care. If you can teach that, corporations, it's just so much good stuff. Corporations, they want to keep their clientele healthy. These high performance coaches, one of the first things they tell you to do, go get a full checkup from head to toe because they want to make sure you're in tip top shape.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So now you're in places and spaces where the conversations are different. Conversations about giving more. Don't think that people who have money don't give. They actually do. And a lot will give, and you don't even know who they are. Because the moment sometimes you do that, everybody, can show. So they're finding ways how they can give. They're finding ways how to create their nonprofit organizations, their 501c3s. Many of them are creating foundations.
Mm.
So you're seeing that now. That's a different level. Oh, you got to have the money. Yes, many of them have the money first, and then they go that direction. So your conversations are totally different. The types of books that you read. We have a mastermind. My mastermind are for high level now. They're ready to move it to the next level because somebody can tell me, you have to decide how much money you want to make. Let's talk about that now. How much money you want to make. And then you have to tell me how hard do you want to work. People keep thinking they have to work a lot to do that. Not necessarily. Not
Mm.
necessarily. So you decide the type of life you want, how much you want to make, the type of life that you want, and then we look at your offering and the value that you bring to the marketplace, and it has to be priced accordingly and have the right message and the marketing things that you will need in place to, because see, the thing is this, the once you have your ideal client type, it's like a pond. They would say it's like a pond with all the different fishes, if they're different in that pond. And they're there, and all you have to do is fish from there. So if you do the work to find out who they are, it is so much easier for you to convert the right types of clients. But that requires a different version of you. Hopefully that, I'm sure folks got it.
Man, that's powerful, guys. Are you listening? You can listen to Sharon the whole day. You can listen, and time flies so fast. Like
Ah,
it's like it's almost like been 2 hours since the live stream started. And time flies so fast. If there's any question on the chat that you want to engage Sharon on, please feel free to ask. Uh, you heard about the how to price yourself.
mm,
I don't think you can afford to bring a CEO randomly. I don't even know what's a rate card, but I don't think you can afford to bring a CEO randomly on a weekend to come and actually share with us these nuggets of wisdom and these gems of wisdom. So you better take advantage here, because next time you want to engage her, will be sent the assistant will send us a rate card. So you better milk the knowledge while she's here before you are sent a rate card. And that's another thing, because I know one of the things, there's somebody who came and was on the panel where you are seated, and she was talking to us about how we need to like position ourselves as brands. And one of the things she talked about was that aspect of pricing yourself, and people are just like, nobody could actually, most of us could not even tell what our worth is. And I know you say people, you go through this particular process now, you to price yourself, and then sometimes you gave an example of how sometimes your nurses are like, isn't that too much? Like sometimes even as we shock ourselves, like
yeah, and they invest with me because I do
yeah.
high level coaching, and I'm like, girl, invest in me. What are you talking about? Why are you? Because to get into that level and to get my time, yeah, and so they will tell you what is the block. Many of them will tell you there is a block around it. And one of the things that I learned, I remember Lisa said this to me years ago when I first met her. She said, I love how you're passionate about what it is that you do. Now let
Mm,
me teach you to make some money around it. I was like, oh, because it was just like, yeah, and why? Because that's the thing. Why do I do what I do? And who are the people that I really want to help? Because one of
mm,
the things, and you might have seen that I travel on medical missions. We're supposed to go to Ghana next year, and I
Mm.
actually have an OBGYN who. Where are you, Kenya?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm in Kenya.
yeah. They've been asking me to come to Kenya. It's up to me to say yes, to come to do some. It's medical. It's just medical. When we have nurses, different things that we work with the nurses there and so forth. So there's always an opportunity to get a chance to meet other people and do amazing things. So I just want to drop that in there. We'll be in Kenya soon.
You're welcome. It'll be nice. We can have some nice African meal. Which takes me back to the question. So, in terms of like knowing our worth, because I
Mm,
know there's a time there was somebody I think was speaking to us, and I think they used a quote that know your worth and then add taxes to it because there are all these other things that yes, I do this is what I bring to the table, this is the value, this the that, and most of us have not even quantified our worth. And
yeah.
that's why we get that's why sometimes, like, I remember when I was trying to learn that, because being a yoga instructor, sometimes you have to charge a client, and at some point I
Oh,
think I gave
we need to talk then.
yeah. So I was like, and one of the things I was like, all right,
Questions
is it
to ask you that are really serious, though. How much do you want to make for the year? That's one of the questions. You guys can write it down. I'm going to give you my secret.
okay, guys? We're taking notes. Guys, get your notebooks. Get
Take
your
notes.
notebooks.
Take notes. Take notes. Like, how much do you want to make for the year? And how
Hmm.
many months out of the year do you want to work?
What was the second question again?
Okay. All right. So we're going to do this. How much money do you want to make first of all, how do you want to work 10 or 12 months out of the year? 8, 6, 8, 10, whatever. Like for a year, that's considered a year for you. How
Hmm.
long do you want to work? Do you want to work 6 months out of the year, 8 months out of the year? The other time is for vacation or whatever else. Because remember now, you don't have to work a whole lot to make what you want to work.
I don't think I want to work for 12 months. Okay, sorry, guys. Guys, that is a question. It's we are writing our answers down on our own. It's like
So yeah, you could say, all right, some people will tell me 8 months.
yeah, I wouldn't do 12,
6.
12 months is too much. Oof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some will say 10 because they want to spend the other 2 in between with time off and traveling. So
Mm.
some folks say if you want to work 10 months out of the year, okay, then all right, so then I'll come and ask you how many hours out of the week do you want to work?
Ah.
So if you tell me, Sharon, I only want to work 20 hours, the average for my clients are 20 hours. When people come with 36, 40, and 60 hours, because they still have the employee mindset.
9 to 5, yes.
Hard. And no, I can work 60 hours. Or maybe I was like, okay, you don't even work 60 hours in the hospital. Why? Because they keep thinking they have to work so many hours. So I'm easier working with somebody who could say 20 hours. Some would say 30 hours. All right. So you want to work 20 hours. So I already know how much you want to work for the month. So if it's 20 hours for the week
Mm.
and each week, so 20 times 4 is what? That's 20, that's 80. So that's
80 hours, yeah.
yeah, for the month. So then you
Wow.
divide that for whatever you had said originally that you want to make. So you need to know how much you want to make per month if you break it down to that. And then it will tell you your hourly. That's sort of kind of that's a rough version of it. So
Mm.
some people have never done that work. I have clients that were charging and they're worth over $500-$600 an hour.
Wow. So,
Make
I,
sense?
I, I love the silence on the chat.
Yeah.
They're listening and they're like, wait, what?
Other things too, we have to look in your products and so forth, their markups and different things that we do. But no one can tell you what you're worth. It's what you choose to at that particular time. Because remember, there's a different version of yourself.
Mm.
So because I know the value that I bring, and they always say, under promise and over deliver. I'm going to make sure that I'm serving you, giving you the information that's needed because I'm not, there's no, for me, why I can share so much. Because guess what? Look, I've met you, I've met Joyful Julie. When you give, you receive. When I give information out, more comes in,
Absolutely.
more stuff. There's more space for me to take in new information and to share it. And so now, when somebody like a Goga who does yoga should be having his own yoga retreat.
Yes.
I went on a retreat in Costa Rica last November, and it was somebody who does yoga. I don't even do yoga. But she has the know, like, and trust factor. And she created an event around it so we could see the sights and everything else. And they were doing yoga in the morning. And what did she do? She packaged it. It was a couple of $1,000s. You see what I'm saying? So your gifting and your skills will make room for you. You just need to know what to create. Oh my gosh, I gave away too much this morning.
Cashley says, Cashley is like saying, I need to have a chat with you. Joyful Julie is dropping your business link right there on the chat. Thank you. Drop it.
I don't even know what links I have there.
And then, okay, you have, I think these are, you need to read this. I've just read it
link in, yeah, I think in my Instagram, I think I could drop it there. It's if they want to.
Yeah. Well, it's even on your channel. It's even on your channel. Cashley, you can you can literally pick it from her bio.
Yeah, the mastermind is there, and I also on my academy, all the stuff there. People are like, "How do you make money? You give away everything for free." It's there. They're free. They're free things on how you can build your list. Just all types of stuff. I give people enough to get them started, and then if you want more one-on-one, then I can really support you. And most people will need that. It's just being consistent, being courageous enough, and to follow up and follow through. So other things with that. Yeah.
So let me just read what Cashley says. I've just highlighted for you on the screen. I have been working on a formula to keep my graphics business floating smooth, but I still don't think I have it as yet. So that's why Cashley was
based. Is he in Jamaica? I think Cashley, I met him. Julie's.
Yeah, Cashley, I think is based in the States. I'm not so sure. Cashley, States, right? Because I know I've seen Cashley on Julie's channel as well, a lot.
Actually, that's big business, especially when it comes to graphics. Many of us, for our books, our mock-ups, we hire...
He's in Jamaica.
Well, there's a young gentleman that I and many of the nurses use. He's based in Jamaica. He's based in Jamaica, Cashley, and we use him. I've used him to do mock-ups and to do book covers. So don't play with that. And if it's something that you do and you really want to turn that into a business, and I see and I like your work, absolutely. Because many of us, we don't do that stuff. We're getting people from the Philippines, Jamaica, Pakistan, India, wherever else we can. And he just set his business up. This is what it is to work with him. We say, okay, we send it to him. He sent his link. We pay it. And we send it back. He give us a couple things if we need anything to be changed. And once you do good work and you have integrity, and nurses, especially with us, we're going to tell other nurses, that's how we support. Some of them I've never met, but because of the work they've done with the others, I've even referred my clients.
Awesome.
So don't worry about being perfect. If you have a Facebook page and people can see your work, and you're able to be a person of your word to say when you can get things done, then that's not a problem. You will you do really well.
Okay. what is like the process like with the RN2 CEO, like in case let's say like somebody wants to engage you, what is that like going to look like? Because I like how these people saying I follow the blueprint, but how do you like work with them in terms of the blueprint? Because sometimes they may not really, they may get into those stumbling blocks that maybe you face when you're building the businesses and stuff like that. What does a cycle look like, before somebody's
Methodology.
left there?
Yeah, it's a methodology that we take them through. So right now, for where I am in this season, I
Mm,
am working with those who have already established their business. Not to say I don't work with startups or if you're just there.
mm,
So for me, I had to make a decision. I'm working with people who already are where some folks are trying to get, because you want to make sure. So you have to be smart how you do your business so you can have cash flow into that. If somebody is looking to work with us, we first have to do a complete assessment of their business and
mm,
where they are with the business, what they've started, what they've done. And so most of it is just stuff. It's just doing. I'm going to tell you, most of it is here. And some people think they can do it on their own. I have coaches, and my coaches have coaches. So never
mm,
work with a coach who doesn't have a coach. Or I should say, every coach should have a coach in some way, shape, or form. Right. And so through the process of where are you with your business? What are your challenges right now? What is the challenge? What's happening? Maybe it's their systems. They don't have things in place. Maybe we
mm,
could automate some of the things for them. It could be their messaging, right? We have to have the right message and how to position themselves. Then we look
mm.
at what is it that they're offering? Because sometimes too, what you're offering may be too low, and then
Yes.
somebody who's really looking to invest, you don't have what they may need. So we may have to look at how can we offer things for them. We also make sure that you have something that you can give. We look at what is the lead magnet. We call it a lead magnet. I have
Mm,
lead magnets where I could give you a free course. You sign up, and then once you've done that, now you're in my ecosystem. I've given you something. I have your email, then I can structure and send you information. So that's how it would start from the first connect. If they decide that they want to take it further, they would have a conversation with me. It could be a deep dive. Some people will do a one time consultation, they can do that. Or they decide that, all right, I may want to work with you. So there's some questions I have to ask them. I need to get in here to see where they want
mm,
to go. And once we present it, and sometimes they do get some golden nuggets from our conversation. Some people think they can run and go with it. If that's it for them, then that's fine. Then there are those who would want to go further. And we do a complete assessment of their business and within the space of time, what needs to be done. Because there are quite a few things they will need to do accordingly, and who they will need to support them, and how to have that done affordably, in an affordable way. So it's
Interesting,
just a system to take them through.
interesting stuff.
And they don't have
Uh,
to work to make money. Actually, you don't have. Some people keep saying, "When do I make money?" I just need to know you have some things in place, because
mm,
just in case they need to follow up with you, that's it. And that's in case they say yes. Do you have like your invoice system? Do you have a way to take payments? So.
mm, okay, makes sense.
Mhm.
The academy. The academy, I was very fascinated because the other day I was bragging here when YouTube gave me like the course status, where I can actually now package the tutorials I do as courses,
Mhm.
and offer them for free. And I say that the information is there out there for free, and they say that they will promote it if so long as I don't charge for those courses, because I guess they want people to get the knowledge from the platform.
Yeah,
So
they
I
want
did.
management. Mhm.
Yes, so I did see that information about your academy, and I got so excited because I
There's
do have
this.
an.
I'll send it. If people ask me for it, I'll send it to them. Yes.
Yes, so I love the idea of the academy.
Mhm.
I mean, how did you like curate that? Because I literally just I was just here sitting on my channel and I was like saying, I need an academy, like, and then I said,
Put your stuff in there. And the idea is, once again, people could just go sign on, but then you've lost contact with them. So for me,
yeah,
Academy, you sign up your name and your email. I've already captured that. And so now you have access. I have your emails. So once I've gotten that, go ahead, look at what you need to. The information is there. But then there's a funnel because I've captured your email. Thank you. Welcome. Once again, here's the free link to what I've promised you. So I've already promised you that. You're in my ecosystem. So now when I send out my emails, more than likely you're going to get some information from me. I don't do hard sells. And that's why people always think it's interesting. Like when they're like, I never really see you sell anything. I was just like, I want the know, like, and trust factor, because for me, once you're coaching people, you exchange so much energy, and it has to be the right types for me, for the type of person that I am. But the academy, like I said, they can get used to what's there. Sometimes they'll go through it. Sometimes they'll get bored. Sometimes they'll say, well, I want to do a one-on-one. So yes, get them in there, engage them. But the other stuff, once they're in your email system, then you can send out emails to them. Like if I'm doing an event, I'll send out a link where there's a wait list. So they'll in California in October. And it's something I'm doing here in the tri-state area. So they're on that list. So whenever I'm going to be on tour, I'll just drop something in there. So it could be Florida, Houston, depends on where folks are. So you decide where you want to send them. So you can give them free things. And then now if they so choose to work with you and have more of your time, that's what they'll present. Because as much as free information as we might have shared, or that you shared, and you've shared some really awesome stuff for me that I didn't even know existed, but just by listening to you. So I've watched some of your stuff too. I'm like, wow, so that's great. But if I want more, then I would approach you and say, hey, what are your packages? What does that look like? And then you have something, because I see the value in it. When people invest, write this down. People invest where they see value. People will invest where they see value. I believe in investing in people. That's why I always give, because it always comes back tenfold. Always
comes back. Guys, if you have any question on the chat, I can listen to Sharon the whole day. I can even
time.
This is almost becoming like a personal coaching session, but I don't want to leave you guys out of the conversation. So please, if you have any question you want to like ask her, if you have any comments. I know John Wambo is saying this is very insightful. Just listening to her. Cashley has already dropped the Instagram. Yeah, Cashley, I think Joyful Julie is going to share the. Let me see.
Yeah, I can even share it. EO on Instagram.
It's the same. It's very easy. It's RN2CEO on Instagram. Just search for that. Let me just drop it on her chat. It's so Cashley, it's RN2CEO on Instagram. That's how you can reach out to her, and then you'll be able at least to have that conversation. And then let me say that there's anything else I may have missed. Misha, I think is just saying hi and everything.
It works here. It may work. Let's see if it works. I think I just dropped it in.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. She dropped it on our own chat. So
for your people, I will give them the call. They can either book a tea chat with me, or if they want a deep dive consultation, they'll say that, and that's different. That's something you invest in. If they want to, especially if they're here in the States and they say, Sharon, I want to use what I already have to create a business around it, they'll definitely see that. Because I don't know if you found my main website. I also have a main website, but I never use it.
Is it I tried. There are some. I tried to open. I know. I have the Addison Media Group. I have that one.
On that, yeah. So I just keep that. I don't even really use my website, guys. I use landing pages, and that's what people think. They have to have these expensive websites. You may want to have a presence just in case a corporation wants to see that.
Yeah.
So it's there, but I don't even use my website, and sometimes forget that it's there. Just a guy will update it every now and then.
Your awesome power within academy. Your awesome power within academy.
You found it? Where did you find it?
No, because he sent it and then I just dropped it. I just dropped it on the chat. So I'm also dropping on the I've dropped the link on my chat. So guys,
Okay.
you can have a 30-minute inception call with Sharon, and then you can be able to have a free clarification around your goals and plans, strategic goal setting and plan of action, and then you can take your next level plan with milestones. You talked about milestones, and I think I like that. Like when you say your target is 2 million, like I like how you are putting it in. That's a hard fact right there. Like it's and normally I'm in the space of the space of policy. So and I'm always one of the things they always say that you need to like have actual targets. Like you
Yes.
need to have an actual target, because then you will not be just like just be like walking blindly towards it, but like there's a target to hit. so
And that's
so
pretty small. And how I came up with that, Julie, remember they used to say Jamaica have 2 million people. Now I hear it's
yeah,
almost 3. So that's how I came up with mine. Some people are 10 million. And I know I've touched more lives than that, having been on radio over 2 decades. So I've
yeah,
touched many lives with that. So yes, just be clear on who do you want to touch, who, what, where, how, and how you're looking to do that. So mine, I've just left it there as the 2 million. And I know more than that, but you can say 10 million, whatever amount. I have
I
somebody who
love.
wanted to touch 10 million, and I think she has done that because she made a documentary. She
Hmm.
has worked all over the world, and yeah, so she used to work for Lisa Nichols too, as a matter of fact. So she has worked all over and gotten she's been able to touch lives. So yeah, just be clear on how you want to do that, and if not me, through the people, not just me alone, call to millions through the lives that I'm touching.
100%. Medical missions. You said you do some medical missions. Still, where you get to travel on this. What inspires this? Is it like something that is within your mainstream, business, or is something you do out of
It's
charity?
something that I give back, something that I
Okay.
do. My first medical mission was 2007, I think
Hmm.
2006 or 2007. We went to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I'm part of a medical mission, and we travel mostly in the Caribbean, but we are also connected to another mission that travels to Ghana
Hmm.
annually around January, February of every each year. But I'm always doing something in January. So I said this year I just may go on that one. And we're also associated with another one that goes to Kenya. So for me, going on medical missions was just a way of giving back. And I'm going to tell you, you meet some of the most amazing people. People will think that they don't have money, but the most valuable thing that you have is your time.
Hmm.
It is the most valuable commodity. It is your time. And so going on medical missions has been amazing. I've learned so much. It has humbled me because sometimes you would think, oh, we're going to save these people, give them medication, and so forth and so on. When in fact, they're the ones you learn so much from, beautiful people for different reasons. And that's why I love it. Our recent medical mission was to Dominica, and it's an
Oh wow.
that has so many dormant volcanoes on it. I'm like, what? Beautiful. Our missions have gone to Central America, to Ghana,
Yeah.
to Haiti, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Did I? Yeah, I said Guyana and Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Jamaica, Belize. We're thinking about Belize, so it's either back to Jamaica or Belize next year, 2026, but 2025 once we make the decision. Um,
Hmm.
so it's a beautiful thing. One of the things about volunteering and giving back, once again, you meet people. If they are not able to go on these medical missions, we meet donors. They're people who just give. They're looking for something to give to. And so I love to volunteer. I do the public relations for them, believe it or not. I do the public relations. Yeah, yeah. So I do that for them, like helping to, I learned, and even in my own business, to write sponsorship letters. You get to know who these individuals are, you get to know who the donors are. I tell
Hmm.
people when you volunteer, especially if they're having events, the best place to volunteer is when to do the seating, because guess what? You get to see all the names. You say, oh,
Hmm.
the director of that hospital. That's the CEO. This is where they're going to be seated. Oh, and so you become familiar. You're not like a fan person, like, but you get familiar with them. And
I
then if
love it.
something goes wrong, it has happened like, oh, our seats aren't available. Just give me a moment. Thank you so much. We'll just go, I bring in all that customer service into it. And they know you and you get to know them. So that's what I'm telling people: give, volunteer. You're going to meet amazing people because they may not have time to come on those missions, but they sure will write a check.
Absolutely. They do have the money. They do have the money.
Stop worrying about you don't have the money.
Yeah.
You may just meet funders who want to support what you're doing with integrity. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can volunteer with another organization and learn so much. Integrity is key, though. Integrity is key.
One of the things you talk about, and this will be the last of the questions I'm asking before I allow you to just, we can wrap it up. One of the things I like about is also how you talk a lot about the importance of legacy. Legacy in every aspect of what you're doing. Why is this crucial? Because I keep telling people that sometimes when you do something, one day you may walk away from it, but how do you want to be remembered? And for me, there's normally a statement we use here in this space: position for impact. What is the impact you're making based on the interactions you have on even platforms like this? So what is like your experience when it comes to legacy building? Because as much as you're giving back, and this is coming from what you did all those several years ago, and you're still able to use that skill in order to give back to the society in terms of the medical missions. But what other aspects are you looking at in terms of packaging your legacy as Sharon?
Yeah, the part of that I didn't share with you when I said I wanted to start my business to be able to give back. I remember saying that I want to be able to build clinics in different parts of the world. And one of them was, then a couple years later, something happened in Jamaica where they allow you to adopt a clinic. So once again, I did not have to reinvent the wheel. So when he talks about legacy, I'm just thankful and grateful for each and every person, every coach, every professor, everyone that I've worked with that has had an impact on my life. I want to be able to do that. I want to give back and do that with kindness. It started from my grandparents in St. Elizabeth, Jamaica, that's where my mom's parents, that's where they were from. And my dad's family is actually, Julie, from Westmoreland. Waterworks, you know where that is, Julie? So yeah. So my grandparents, one thing I always noticed about them, they were always giving stuff away. Like as soon as we get something, go give this to this neighbor, go give that to that. And we were just like always, I'm like, why were we just giving our stuff away? And most of it is like you'd be doing something, having fun. I would be playing with my brothers or something and sisters. And next thing, oh, you guys have to stop, go wash your face, look good, be on your best behavior, because my mouth could be a little fresh back in the day. And go down to Sakula's Cole House or somebody else to give them stuff. And it was like, man, I had to stop what I'm doing. But years later, after my grandparents passed and we went up to, and Julie would know where this is, it's called New Market. There were still people who remembered my grandparents. They remembered us. And they said we were so well-mannered. I'm like, oh, I guess I didn't say anything bad. So from there, I learned about giving. My grandparents always gave. And even after they were gone, folks still remembered them. And they remembered us as children because we would always bring, stuff. And they would bring stuff to us too. So like if something came from the town, my parents would send us away for the summers in Jamaica, and we would go up to St. Elizabeth. So we would stay at the country, we would call it, and they would send stuff. And as soon as we would get stuff, go share it, go give it. But these folks remembered us. They were creating a legacy of kindness of other people. And that has, if you've met me, you've met my family. This is how we are. You met me, we're just a bunch of givers. We just understand the blessings that comes with it, because it may not be just to you, but it will be bestowed on your children and your children's children. And for me being a nurse, nurses will tell you when when our patients would tell us, thank you, they would say, just thank you for being kind. And all I could think of, Goga, in my head was like, if I ever have a family member that's in the hospital, I just hope that there will be another nurse who will be just as kind as me.
Love
And I've
that.
witnessed that. And I've seen when my mom was ill before she passed, nurses that were kind. And I said, thank God. People that delivered the food were kind. People that cleaned, they're just kindness. You just want kindness to be around you. So whatever you do, I want that to be remembered for that. But in your action, even if they don't remember me, but in
Mm.
their action, and that they can pass that on to their generation, to their children, in the way that they speak, what they do. And that's how your legacy will live on. That's the best way I can put it. You made me almost tear up here, Goga.
I know
Almost.
it was powerful, and I know you mentioned to me that you guys are just the family is just like remembering your mom 2 years on. And I just want to say, may she keep resting in power, and you are a walking you're a walking example of the legacy she wanted to leave on the earth. So based on the amazing work you're doing, and thank you so much for just sharing that, and we are happy to hold the space for you just sharing that particular experience. My final questions will be really about your YouTube channel. Yeah, why did you get onto YouTube? You have a company, you're running a businesses, you're helping people make seven figures, and you're called to millions. You're trying to empower people.
I'm
One,
like over here on YouTube.
yeah.
Don't know
So
what I'm doing. Why am I doing it? Like, oh my God.
yeah, you've been on
I,
radio, all this time. Why do
I
you want to come on
know.
the red platform? And I like how you said that you talked about podcasts when you were doing the introduction. And I was just thinking, I'm talking about podcasts this week because I think it's 1 year since YouTube gave us podcasts, but I think most of us have still not figured out how to use the feature completely. So when you mentioned it, I was just like, oh, she just gave me like some nuggets for my Wednesday show. But talk to us about this. Why did you decide to bring yourself into this platform?
Oh wow.
What?
I've been on YouTube a long time. From it, I guess, inception. I've been on it.
Mm.
There are other channels.
Oh,
If you look, you may find me, but and then because I have the brand RN to CEO, I just started and I left it there. And then some of the
yeah.
videos are the greatest in the world. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. And then I find people who are really dedicated to it and I love watching them. And then I remember, oh, I need to go on too. But it was just because of the brand. I said, all right, RN to CEO, let's just that's the what do you call it, the technology. I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure I captured that. So that's what I'm on TikTok, not doing much over there, either Facebook and Instagram. And I'm on LinkedIn, which I need to use a little bit better
Mm.
because audio has always been the thing for me. I've had clients, high level clients who have worked with me, they've never met me, but because of my voice. And
Amazing.
somehow they've connected with me because of that. So I'm trying to, I always think I was, why am I here on YouTube? I came over and I've met amazing people because I'm a big fan of other
Mm.
people's channel. And I think I will clean it up after I get those watch out in my niche. And I notice they like when I talk about current events and travel.
Mm.
Next year, I'm supposed to maybe go to Greece also. So I said, you know what? Maybe that's what they like. But I'm here on YouTube to meet some amazing people. I've met you all. And after me, I may have to have a coaching session with Goga because I need to clean things up here. And that's why I can't even answer you why I'm even here. I'm just here to meet amazing people. And I know it'll turn into something because I just have to niche it down and I
Yeah.
understand that. And so
Yeah.
I'm here to possibly do that and see how it goes. Something
But
new.
it's Yes. But I also like the fact that you're here because there's also that aspect of visibility. Why you not on the platform? I would not have seen you. I would not have met you at Julie's 50th birthday. Because I think that's when I got to connect to
Party.
your
Yeah.
how your space, and I was like, oh, is this R2 person? And then I watched a few. I was like, this can be a good guest for the Sunday service. We need this kind of uplifting, coaching, motivation, just to to step up, and it's also a good way of also just learning. So it's just, I think, and I think just give yourself the grace to just watch it grow. We never really have the I always tell people, we never really have it figured out when you are starting. You start off the channel this way, the audience want this other thing, and you have to listen to the audience, because they're the ones who are watching you. So so it's always amazing, and it's something you're enjoying doing anyway. You enjoy traveling, it's something you enjoy doing. Like, oh, you guys want to see that stuff?
I
No.
have loads of stuff. I have a ton of stuff. I have
Yeah.
stuff from Italy. I have stuff from, like I
See.
said, Dominica. And it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm going to. So I may just have to send it to somebody to edit them. But I have them. Like some of the stuff I've edited myself because back in the day I did some of that. But it's there, and I think once I do that, they seem to like travel. Folks seem to like.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, they're like, you're taking us around the world, and it's why not enjoy the ride while at it?
Yeah, I got to take my GoPro. I have tons of stuff.
Nice.
So,
Cashley says you need a Rode mic for good audio, or remaster the audio. Right, makes sense. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah,
yeah.
a Rode mic is a very good. That's a very good mic.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Cashley.
some of the mics, and because when I'm out there and it's windy and all of that,
Yes. Yeah.
the boom mic, all of that stuff. I've been looking at it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to start taking it more seriously, and so when I come to Jamaica, I'll be able to get some nice footage, and the audio will be great.
Absolutely. There's some very beautiful comments that have been thrown on the chat, but I want to highlight something by Hadways. Hadways is watching you from the United Kingdom. He's also he's one of the few men who has been on the Sunday service. I'm trying to get men to come on the platform more often. He's one of the few men who has graced the platform this year. So Hadways says volunteering is something everyone should do at least once in a lifetime.
Absolutely.
It changes the way we look and perceive things. In essence, it will change you positively. I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Great
I
way
love
to
that.
people.
Yeah. And then I love all these guys, David, Helen, Ura for Hannah, Misha Bless. They're just like, this is powerful. These are good conversation, Goga. Joyful Julie is like, thank you for hosting Sharon, Goga. You both are my amazing friends. Joyful
thank you, Julie. Julie's so amazing.
Yeah, Joyful.
I love watching her. I could just watch Julie and listen to Julie all the time. She takes it in her life.
I watch Julie, and sometimes I'm just like, why? How did I even know this woman? And I met Julie on her first channel when she was barely at 200 subscribers.
Wow.
And she was just amazing. She just came on my panel randomly. Like I was hosting a show, and I think I had all these people on the panel, and I just dropped the link on the chat. It was just so random, and I said anybody can come up on the panel. Joyful Julie just clicked the link. I didn't even know her, so she was introducing herself while on my panel. And she was amazing, and I like how she speaks, and I keep telling her that she speaks.
No, I keep telling her, Julie she must have been a teacher or something.
I know she speaks like a book. It's like she's reading a book, like when she speaks.
And really well. And
so
I
good.
love that about just how she just makes me. And in Jamaica, we love when people, you know what I mean, Julie. And I was like, she sounds like a teacher, and that's how I found out about you. And Julie is a giver. She told me something that I needed to do, and I did it. Yeah. And I remember my subscription started going up, like 10 people just by her just saying, hey, maybe you should do this. And just little things I've listened to. And so I've met amazing people here, and I'm just looking forward, and I will take it seriously to grow.
I know. Aj says, have fun, Sharon. You will find your niche as time goes by. I love that. Keep having fun. Cashley is promising to help you out there on gadgets. Wow, Cashley. You see the power of connection.
Yes.
Yeah. And then David Ant, can you just move? Enjoy. Sharon takes okra, David. Leave me alone. Yeah. She says she takes.
Has it linked in there, like the different things that they use? If you link it down in your description and I see it, I may just go and support your your link. So people, I always tell
Absolutely.
people share that because I had said that to someone, before I purchased my GoPro, I said, had
Yeah.
you had a link there, I would have, through Amazon or something, click it
Oh yeah,
this way
the
to
link directly to go bite through them, and then they can get some. Yeah,
so
that's
yeah,
actually smart.
there are people like myself who are looking, and so I just have to go somewhere else and purchase it. But
I know.
yeah, it's a great way to share. As long as you let YouTube rules, I guess, let folks know you have your link and you get something from it, whatever they say to do on YouTube here. But yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Let me see any other comment question on the chat. Let me see. 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 Okay, I think I've highlighted. You guys are just like enjoying the conversation, and you're just sending hearts and love. Fluffy Diva, Service Hot Kitchen. Agre says, this interview, it feels like I'm on we're on BBC. I'm like, man, okay, okay, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice. I'll take that as a compliment. Welcome to BBC. Yeah. BBC, yeah, you have a CEO and you have the president of the academy. So we all have academies. We are two academy honors and
that's
stuff.
right.
Yeah. The radio experience. Do you still have this radio experience going on, or what's that? Or did you retire
Radio
from
went
radio?
on hiatus around 2018, 19, just before the pandemic. Uh,
Oh wow.
they changed the format, and my music was Caribbean and world gospel. I think I even still have a Facebook page with it. So I played Caribbean and world gospel music. So I would play music from all over the world. I did that. Then the format of the station changed, and they wanted me to play a little country or some music from the 80s, which was okay, but that wasn't my
I
genre.
know.
It
I
wasn't
know.
really my genre, and they would want me during drive time. So I said it would have to have been on a Monday in between my
Yeah.
business, and just trying to work that out was just not the thing. And then when COVID happened, we could broadcast from home. So a few of the disc jocks did that. But it's
Mm,
something that I can always, I'm always
I
getting
can.
offers. I'm always getting offers to, because I would actually go in live. So I went into
Mm.
a station actually live, and it was from Wednesday after midnight. So it was Thursday, 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. So I did overnight.
Oh
So
wow.
I would leave my house at yeah. So I would do the night shift because I worked as a night nurse, so it made sense, and it was only once a week. But I've recently even had somebody this year offered me again, and so if I ever feel like do it, I will, because I would just want to work remotely. And I have a
Mm,
cousin that has a station, and he's always I do voiceovers for him, and he said, "When are you going to come back on?" I said, "One of these days."
mm.
So I'll get back into it.
Okay, awesome. Guys, a good story is good until another one is told. As I always say, it's almost 3 hours. I've kept here, Sharon. Yeah, it's almost time flies when you're on a live stream sometimes. It's
Wow.
wild. Yeah, time flies when you're on a live stream. Guys, I have to we have to love and leave you, and I have to let Sharon go. But before she goes, if you're not connected to her house, do me that one favor. Click on the pinned link there, and then let's get her to that milestone. And then she says she'll keep posting the content, and you'll get to see more of her in this particular channel. She's been around for a while, but she's building this particular one now for RN2 CEO, and I'm sure you'll be seeing more of her. I like how you are really alive when you are doing your talks, especially sometimes even in the like what you do on your Instagram, for
Yeah,
example.
well, I'll just
Yeah,
stop like I'm L. Yeah. But
yeah.
like I said, sometimes I do those after I've done the audio because my audio thing on the audio channel I'm on, sometimes I only do 5 minutes. And people are coming like, "You're
Ah,
ready." Yeah, because sometimes you don't have to do a whole long thing and then it's on the replay. So when
yeah.
you know what to say and you know how to use it, then they go back to the replay. I say 5 minutes, coffee break, 5 minutes, drop. And I tell them, okay, thank you. And I'm done. Go back to the replay and they listen to it. And I throw my link in. And if they need to connect with me, they connect with me. So sometimes you don't have to
Absolutely.
go as long. You just do what needs to be done and folks will know what to do from there. But it always give value, just like you do, Goga. Always give value.
Thank you so much. Always give value. Guys, let me leave it at this. Sharon, the last thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to put you on solo layout so that you can do your nice call to action. In case there's anything that you felt you wanted to talk about and my questions did not capture, this is the point you can slide it in. And then as soon as you're done, I'll be able to release you, and then we will end your live stream on that side, and then I will take my 5 minutes for the affirmation, and then we can end it on my side. So I'll put you on solo layout for this. For the guys who are coming to rewatch, okay, there you go.
Hey guys, well, I'm here with Goga. He just gave me the whole channel. Where are my fingers? Where did they go? But I want to say, Goga, thank you so much for the work that you're doing. I remember the first time I saw you and I was like, whoa, dude is knowledgeable. I did say dude, right? No, I was like extremely knowledgeable. And I was intrigued. And I remember the same day I went and I followed you, and I've been just listening to some of your stuff and saw the value that you gave. And I know that you're good people. So I want to really thank you. That's what we say here, good people. Right? I just want to thank you for this opportunity and for being so kind to share your platform. And I look forward to doing the same. I actually have shared these in some of my private groups so folks can get to see it. But more than anything, I'm here just to encourage those of you who are ready, willing, and able to take what you do to the next level, to just trust the power that's within you, knowing that what it is that you have, you can support others. And if anything I might have said today that touched you in any way, and you feel like you would like to reach out, you're more than welcome to do so. There are links. I'm RN to CEO on all major platforms. You can inbox me. Sometimes it may spam you, so it may take a while for me to see it. Or if there's a link here and you'd like to have a conversation with me, check your spam box. My last name is Addison, so it may come from my website. You may find that there. But pretty much that's what I want to say. Go for whatever it is that your heart desires, the thing that you would do even if you're not paid for it. That's what you are called to do. Yes, you are called to millions. Yes, you are called to touch the lives of people. I'm not a hard seller. That's not what I do. But I just hope that I was able to encourage you, and that you will be able to see that your gifting and skills will make room for you. You can touch the lives of other people, and it is possible to build a business around your lifestyle. So feel free to touch base with me, and I look forward to connecting with many of you. Thanks again, Goga.
This is affirmation. I don't think people realize that growth doesn't come from nowhere. It's not like one day you wake up and you are a new person, because that's impossible. In fact, you can never grow to such an extent that you can't be recognized, because growth is gradual, and the potential to be your greatest self has always existed within you. Because you are all those people, the heartbroken, the learner, the forgiver, the soul searcher, and the adventurer, the quiet wanderer, and the energetic traveler. You are the one who broke in too at the hands of others, and the one who came together again. You are the lonesome, I need time for myself drifter, and the social butterfly who loves being in the presence of others. You are not suddenly a new person for going through change. You're just more evolved. You're growing, and growth doesn't happen overnight. And you don't become alien to who you are. What happens is you start to display the tiny trinkets of your other sides, and your various personality traits start to come to the fore. What happens is you become comfortable in showing people more of you. And you become relaxed in your skin. Growth doesn't come from nowhere because you always had the potential to be those other people. All that happens with time is that you learn to embrace all of you and you start to show the world who you truly were all along. I will repeat the last sentence. Growth doesn't come from nowhere because you always had the potential to be those other people. All that happens with time is that you learn to embrace all of you and you start to show the world who you truly were all along. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, Goga, signing out of the Sunday service. May you have an amazing week ahead full of growth. And may you keep embracing that version of you as you navigate through the second week of September. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you so much for the gift of fellowship. May you have an amazing and beautiful week ahead.